Hello, my loves. Are you ready to discover what your magical archetype is? Stay tuned and we'll find out together. Hello, my loves. Welcome or welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. Whether you are returning or whether you are brand new to the channel, welcome to the family. It's an honor to have you here. It's an honor to work with you, to read your energy, to bring you confirmation, to be part of your journey, however long that may last. Whether you are here for a long time or a short time, I am truly, truly blessed and truly honored to work with you. So my loves, this is a 3-channel collaboration, and I am so excited about working with these two amazing, beautiful readers, these two amazing, beautiful people. Both Celtic Fairy Tarot and Ember Moon Tarot are incredibly important in my life. They are not just colleagues, they are soul sisters, soul family. They bring me messages as much, if not more, than I bring them messages. Throughout the course of our interactions, we have all learned so much about each other, ourselves, and this reading was really inspired by a time in which Ember Moon and I were both kind of struggling with some things, and at the same time we were both feeling incredibly inspired. It was early to mid-December when we started talking about this, and she was working on an archetype reading, and she said she had been going through this kind of back and forth, like the inspiration was there and then it dissipated. And when we were talking about it, Spirit showed me this collaboration. We are in 2023 now. You know, everybody's talking about the calendar change, all of that. And if you know me, if you're not new to my channel, you know I celebrate the zodiac year change, the energetic transitional points. And because of that, though the collective consciousness is kind of on that precipice, to me, we're on that precipice of the 7 energy. I myself have been feeling this call to more or less allow for a greater preparation for what the 7 year is going to bring. So your 7 year, if you choose to go based off of the Gregorian calendar year, your 7 year begins upon the birthday, the date of your birth, like your birthday for whenever it falls in 2023. So if you had a January 1st birthday, so you're a New Year's baby, your 2023 year would begin on January 1st. For those of you who celebrate based off of the energetic and the zodiac calendars, then you actually would wait until January 1st of 2024, and that's when your 7 year would begin. But a 7 is a very magical number, and it plays out in a multitude of different ways throughout people's lives. And this is one of those areas where I'm still researching and learning all the different facets and depths of this singular number. You know, just this one number in and of itself has so many different pieces to it. But one of the pieces is magic. It's about knowing ourselves. We talk about the seeking journey when we're talking about something like a life path 7, which is what I am. And oftentimes when you are a life path 7 or you are in a 7 year on your journey, there's a lot of seeking outside of yourself, gaining wisdom, gaining knowledge, gaining awareness. And all of that is perfectly valid. It's 100% in tune and flowing exactly as the 7 energy calls. But there's another layer to it. And that layer is learning oneself. It's seeking internally that which you are seeking externally as well. Understanding that when you find something externally, it is nothing more or less than a reflection of what you contain within. And because of this, there are moments where we seek magic outside of ourselves, where we seek to understand the ways in which we work with our own magic outside of ourselves. So whether you define magic as being a witch, a wizard, a shaman, a fae, whether you define it in a completely different scope, however it is, the core of these archetypes and this collaboration, at least in my perspective, I know that all 3 of us readers have, our own unique way of seeing how we're coming together. And I love that about it. But we are all coming together to help you remember pieces of what you contain within yourself. Just as each one of us has helped the other, we now want to come forward and help you guys. So with all that being said, we're going to dive into discovering the magic within you. It's identifying a certain sort of witch archetype. And witch can be, which is non-gender specific. I want to specify that. And I also want to let you know, if you want to use this interchangeably with, say, wizard or warlock, that is 100% your choice. Please use your discernment and remember that we all have our own perspectives and our own way of using the language that we speak in. So it's kind of our own vernacular, our own connotations, inflections, intonations when we use this language. So please understand that when I am speaking of these things, it is coming from my awareness, my understanding, my truth, and what I channel for you guys. And I'm asking in this reading in particular for you to use your utmost discernment. Now, what exactly is a witch in my perspective? Since opening myself up to the witch energy world and path in my life, I have actually struggled against societal norms and the perception that society puts on what a witch is. To me, a witch is someone who understands energy, who works with energy, who flows in a natural cycle, whether that is a natural cycle of the world, of the cosmos, or of their own life and energy. It's someone who understands a more natural path forth in this life. It's someone who connects with this world as well as others, who connects with spirit, connects with their body, connects with the nature and wisdom that nature has to provide for us in this world and incarnation. Much of what I understand and do on this healing path of mine and this witch path of mine is understanding the ways that this world provides us with natural energies, natural elements in order for us to work with it as though we are one organism, one being, all together. And in doing so, when we open ourselves up to learn more about what is contained outside of ourselves, it teaches us what we contain within ourselves. Everyone has a different perspective of the terminology of witch. To me, a witch is quite interchangeable with a medicine woman or medicine man, with a shaman, with a healer, with a holistic healer, with your naturopath, with your acupuncturist. That is how I work with this energy. So this is going to be identifying the ways in which this energy appears in your life, how you work with it in an archetypal role, helping you find confirmation, clarity, understanding, peace, and perhaps some advice moving forward. So we have 4 piles. Each one has a candle that we will be lighting for each pile. All the candles are the same color. They are white. White is symbolic of an openness. It's a purification, a purity energy, a protection energy. And it's just like what I'm seeing actually is a blank canvas in my third eye. These candles are meant to help you paint the image of yourself by giving a light to them. Underneath are piles that contain energies. Each one is denoted with a specific practical witch spell. And then we have an archetype card. So without further ado, I will put on a little bit of meditation music for you guys. And then we will see you guys, or I will see you guys. We'll see each other at your piles. Hello, pile 1. So before we begin, I want to cleanse this space with you here. All right, we're going to get this Palo Santo energy clear. Get that uplifting Palo Santo energy. Okay, and then I have this super special incense stick, and I'm actually going to use this middle candle because this middle candle is the one from your pile that you selected, and I was going to light it on camera, and the energy and the guides were like, no, it's going to have to be lit off camera. And the intention of all of them are just, that blank slate, purity, protection, everything that was discussed while we were in the introduction energy. And if you guys missed that and you do want to know the purpose of these middle candles, please by all means go back and check that out. Now, with all that being said, pile 1. So this is a beautiful collaboration. It's an archetypal collaboration with the absolutely incredible Ember Moon Tarot and Celtic Fairy Tarot. 2 of my favorite people ever. 2 of my favorite people, especially in terms of my spiritual journey. These 2 have brought so much into my life as I have gone through this journey thus far. And I've said this to them multiple times, and I've told Spirit that they just feel like blessings from Spirit at this point in my journey. Interesting. So, pile 1, we're talking about discovering that magic within, or rediscovering, your inner magic, getting back in touch with that, getting in touch with your inner witch, wizard, warlock, however you want to define it. I have to open up with this with you guys. There's almost this kind of hesitancy with you, as though it's like, I almost feel like you guys are expecting something awful to come through in this. So expecting some sort of warning, to find out. It's almost like you're expecting a negative right now. This is it's almost an uncomfortable energy here, pile one. This is not, it's definitely not an energy I am accustomed to. I can feel it kind of up in my higher heart chakra. And there can be, what I'm getting here is there can be this fear about your own magic. This fear, am I loved? Am I lovable? And the reason why I'm feeling it in my higher heart chakra is the higher heart chakra, which is your thymus. It's like the middle of your chest, right? Right below where your neck begins or where your throat begins. That's your higher heart chakra. And when that area feels really tight, it's very similar to a panic energy or an anxiety energy, but it's not quite the same. This just feels like, it's almost like there's a boulder or just a heaviness sitting right there. And it makes me want to massage the top of my chest. And the energy that I pick up from that is this fear that you are not loved by spirit, or that you're not sure at this point in your journey about your actual magic in this way. And I want you guys to understand, number one, that's 100% understandable. When I discovered that I was both a natural witch, but also it was hereditary, there were a lot of people, my ancestry in particular, sorry guys, I'm getting kind of finicky about them being aligned. Oh, that's interesting. That's a new energy too. Okay. When I learned about my ancestry and my connection with, witches in terms of like Salem and, in Europe and all of these places, I discovered my connection to all of these different eras and peoples and everything. There was a lot of fear, a lot of hesitation. I also grew up in organized religion. I grew up in an evangelical faith. And when I realized this part of myself, I realized that I was awakening to something that I contained within that actually challenged every belief that I had had growing up. And that's a really uncomfortable place to be in life. It's a really uncomfortable place because now it's looking at the conventions of everything that you have ever learned, believed, thought, operated out of, and discovering that you're at a place in your journey where it's time for you to step forth into your own. It's choosing yourself, choosing your path, choosing what's right for you. And there's this equal levels of, is this going to make me hated, or am I still going to be worthy of love? Am I still going to connect with my past, with my roots, with my ancestry, with my family after this? There's just a lot of kind of hesitation surrounding the self. I don't get that you guys are necessarily, being really hard on yourself or anything like that. It's just kind of this low hum of almost fear, but not quite fear. It's like I'm actually seeing someone who's like on a diving board and they've got their arms tucked back and they're like about to swing them back and forth because they know they're going to be jumping off this diving board, and they're like, you're working your way to leaping into your own personal truth. And when you're working your way up to that, there's going to be that last purge of fear, that last vestige of fear is going to come out, and it's going to be something that you're going to have to face. It's like, when we get all anxious or we're meeting somebody that we just trust intrinsically immediately. And all of a sudden there's verbal diarrhea, so to speak. And it's almost like everything that you purged out when you first met that person is just sitting there, like this creature that's standing between you two. And now you both have to just look at the creature that just came out of your mouth. It's kind of like that energy where you're getting it all out, but you're doing that with yourself. It's like you're doing that with every version of yourself that you could possibly become or have been, or, anything like that. It's like a whole compendium of you. And it's all of the things that are holding you back. So with that being said, pile one, now that we've worked our way through that energy, it does feel a bit lighter in my higher heart chakra now. Sometimes coming to these readings, we don't know what to expect. We can get really tense. We're not really sure if it's going to resonate. We're not really sure if it's going to be meant for us, if we're going to hear what we are fearing we will hear, or if we're going to hear what we hope we're going to hear. When you come to these readings, you hear what you are meant to hear, what you need to hear. Hopes and fears only interact with you. It's kind of like these 3 candles. See them as a kind of line in the sand. There's a boundary here. When you come here to join me, these are the energetic blocks. Okay. When you cross this barrier, when this line that's here, when you come onto this side of the line with the cards, with me, when you're here, your hopes, your fears, unless they're a part of this reading specifically, belong to you and they stay on that side of the line. What you get on this side of the line is what spirit has brought you here for. And that would be a higher level of awareness, a higher level of what you need to hear in this moment. Confirmations, clarity. Pile 1, your number 1 archetype in magic, in witch or wizard or warlock, what have you. I'm just going to be using witch because, I'm from a family of witches. And I'm being brought back to my son, Cooper, who said, Mom, I want to be called a witch because witches can be boys too. Yes, they can. So your number 1 archetypal energy of a witch is a healing witch. And this is so vast and expansive, being a healing witch. I am a healing witch, and I understand that whatever we choose in this world is some form of healing. So in this way, you may have been perceiving it as like Reiki healing, because I did get that energy like I usually do, like my Reiki pile, or, holistic healing, herbal healing, oil healing, anything like that. But I also see divinatory witches as healing witches. I see cosmic witches as healing witches. I myself identify as both divinatory and cosmic because I work with the planetary cycles. I work with the moon cycles. I pay close attention to astrology. I'm always learning something new about astrology. I'm always growing that understanding and awareness. And as I do, I step more fully into my own unique form of magic. So you as a healing witch, your unique form of magic is something that will help others understand places and pieces of themselves that are ready to heal. And it will be something that I'm feeling really strongly will be your choice in methodology, in energy, in whatever way you choose to manifest it into your life. And you don't need to put limits, boundaries, or titles to it is what I'm hearing. It's like, don't define this. Leave it broad. Leave it open. Let yourself get curious. Let yourself explore. There's a part of your inner child who's really excited about this. Like really excited about this. So we're going to start here with this healing spell. And I'm going to show it to you guys and read it. You don't have to, but I'm going to just use it as kind of a divinatory energy for me. I love this. Purification ritual. Salts from the sea have been used to decontaminate the body by way of ritual rubs since ancient times in the Mediterranean and Mesopotamia, from Cleopatra to Bathsheba. These natural salts have been used to exfoliate the skin and enhance circulation, vital to overall body health. To prepare for your purification ritual, light lemon or myrrh candles, step out of your clothes and hold the salts in the palms of both hands and pray. Isis, in your wisdom, help me reflect your image. My body is a temple to the goddess. Here I worship today with head and hands, heart and soul. Use the salts with a new loofah sponge and scrub yourself vigorously during the waning moon at midnight. Here, I'll move this up one more time. If you guys want to screenshot that at all, by all means. And that's actually kind of perfect because we do have a waning moon that is coming up because we just had the full moon when I'm filming this, and that was on the 6th. And the third quarter moon is falling. I want to say that it would be on the 13th-ish, maybe as far as the 16th. I can't remember how many days are in between right now. And my handy dandy notebook is over on my table right now. So let's get a look at, before I forget, with this purification ritual, you can use Epsom salts that you can buy. If you don't have like a local herbal store or, metaphysical shop or anything of that nature, you can absolutely use Epsom salts. You can even use Mediterranean Himalayan pink salt, whatever you feel called to. Allow yourself to be guided. It doesn't necessarily have to be midnight either. I know this does say midnight, but if you want to do this purification, literally at whatever time you feel as though it's the right time. With the waning moon energy, the reason why you use the waning moon energy is because as the moon wanes, we move further out of the divine masculine energy. And as we're moving out of the divine masculine energy and welcoming in that balance again with the divine feminine, and then, kind of surrendering to the divine feminine energy, when we're doing that phase of the moon cycles, it aids us to purify our energy, to cleanse it deeply. And it aids in any kind of like full moon release or third quarter moon release. If you work with the moon phases, that really helps with those releases. And it sends an even stronger signal to the universe energetically to show just how much you are prepared, willing, and doing the work to do the release. You guys, do you see that ball of light? That was crazy. That was so cool. Wow. It hasn't happened on my channel in so long. I love it. Oh, you guys have so much divine help and support. You really do. That was such a playful energy too. Oh, I love when there's playful spirits about. And I do, if you guys did catch it, because it like kind of swirled around and did a like loop-de-loop over here. I'm sorry, I want to cry. I don't know why. It's not in a bad way. It's in a really good way. Please take that to know that, if you feel so called to Isis in Egypt, that is definitely an energy, a deity who would love to work with you. But you guys really are protected. And wow, that was wow. All right, let's take a look at your archetype card. Oh my goodness. Whoo, buddy, we have the Judge. All right. Yeah, we're going to keep going. So we have the card 33. Oh, with wholeness and black mulberry. So we've got Aquarius energy plus water energy. So that is water and air energy. And I'm just going to set that up here. And we have the pentagram as well. That's, again, another protection energy to me. But it also, to me, whenever I see the pentagram like that, I always think of Venus energy. So that you may have Venus in Aquarius in the 4th, 8th, or 12th houses. Oh, yeah, I just got chills everywhere. Ooh, buddy. All right, and then we have 43 with tranquility, and we've got Pisces and air energy, and we have violet. Okay, so you may really have Aquarius in your 12th house. That would make you guys Pisces risings, and if that's the case, hi guys. Alternately, you could have Pisces in one of the air houses. That would be, let me see, air houses are 3, 7, and 11. And you guys, you don't have to have these placements for it to resonate at all. These are just kind of some of the astrological energies I'm picking up. Let's see. 14 with the Judge. You may have Libra in the 9th house or Sagittarius in the 7th house. If you had Sagittarius in the 7th house, it would make you an Aquarius rising. If you had Libra in the 9th house, oh, yeah, that would make you an Aquarius rising. Yeah, okay. All right, I get that. That's cool. The reason why I say that is with the Judge card, I always get Libran energy. And with 14, it makes me think of the Temperance card. And Temperance is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the ruler of the 9th house. If you guys are wondering how I deduct reasoning for that stuff, like how I get those connections from the cards themselves, part of it is the energy that I'm feeling. The other part is using numerically and then how it connects in my brain, because that's how spirit communicates with me. So because I know the astrological interactions with the major arcana cards, that's how I do the correlation. I don't know if somebody was asking that. I don't normally tell you guys like how these things make sense in my brain. So I'm assuming somebody's like, well, how did you get that from those numbers? And that's how, because 14 does not reduce to a 9. You are correct. I just heard 14 doesn't reduce to a 9. How did you get that? So that is how I do it. All right. So we have the Judge, and it's the critic, the diplomat, and the advocate. The Judge has an incredibly important job. They work every waking hour of every day, helping us discern what is safe, true, and just. When this archetype remains unconscious or is captivated by fear, wise discernment turns into painful judgment of self and other. Ironically, the Judge's energy can be the seed of racism, bigotry, and fear-mongering. This is the Judge out of balance, building walls, separating from other. When this same discerning force is made conscious and healed, however, the Judge may be found advocating for civil rights causes, standing up for the underdog, providing resources for those in need, and forgiving again and again. Love is the deciding factor. Awakening this archetype is essential for the complex times we are in. Get your Judge in order. The world needs it. And it says, when light, discernment, advocacy, right action, and compassion. When dark, critical, punishing, unforgiving, wall building. And if you want to go deeper, wow, guys, Egypt is real strong with you. Osiris and the white feather of Ma'at. Wow. Okay, so this is again that same energy, same higher heart chakra energy that I picked up in the very beginning, that's this Judge card. It's not saying that you are judgmental of any of this. And by the way, guys, I had full body chills and tingles on my right side, and that is divine masculine energy. And so what I glean from that with the Judge card, and especially from that higher heart chakra kind of fear about, am I going to be judged? Am I going to find my place? Am I safe for this? Am I still lovable? Am I still loved? That fear, it's this fear of condemnation, fear of ostracization. That's a hard word. It's fear of being ostracized. These fears I'm hearing are from antiquity. So these are fears that have been carried in your soul. And when soul level fears begin to arise, we can question whether all the work that we've done thus far has really been effective or not. We can question whether we're on the right path. We can question whether we really are whole, whether we really are healed, whether we really have found peace, because all these things are arising within us. Now, with Aquarius energy plus the Judge, Aquarius energy really is that compassionate, humanitarian. Aquarius energy wants to fight for the other underdog. Ooh, I just said other dog. Fight for the other. Okay. Well, it's kind of the same thing. So you may be perceiving it as like, okay, I have to switch teams. Okay, that may be another thing that I'm picking up. Some of you may feel as though you are switching into a different kind of way of being, and it's a way of being and a way of living your life that you may have judged in the past. And the only person holding anything against you for the past is you. No one else is. And if another person, human being is, that's neither your business nor mine. That's for spirit to sort out and that person. So the Judge card is coming forth to let you know that when you move into this energy, when you move into this understanding and this healing energy that you're shifting into, and you embrace yourself in this kind of balanced wholeness within, that's when tranquility comes in, because you actually are able to very effectively be a light for compassionate speech. You heal through sharing your light, sharing your vision, sharing your wisdom with the world, through speaking spiritual truths in a very contemporary and modern way. It is very much like witchcraft. And that's why you're here. It feels like witchcraft, but it may not necessarily look that way. And so there can be a little bit of confusion with that. And that's understandable. The primary energy, though, is understanding that once you stop feeling the fear of being judged, or the fear that your judgments of the past may come back, when you learn how to forgive, and when it mentioned forgiveness again and again, I did get an incoming energy of like, I always forgive everyone. I don't want to keep forgiving people. It doesn't feel fair. And that passage does not feel like it is directed towards you forgiving anyone else. It feels like you need to forgive yourself. And that way you can let the past go. This purification ritual, even if you don't want to do this particular one, if you don't want to call in Isis because you're not familiar with her energy, or, anything like that, you don't have to. You can just sit down with your guides and light a white candle. I'm getting from this candle, you guys work really great candle magic. You may be really attuned to the fire energy, even though I'm getting no fire energy here, just water and air energy a lot. I do get the sense that it's almost like you've learned to temper fire energy, but it is a very strong energy for you, a very powerful energy for you. And you can use salt for the purification if you so choose, but it may help you to set the intention with the purification to actually cleanse and purify yourself and forgive yourself. So let's see. These are just going to be advice for you moving forward. Yeah, protection. You are protected. And card 43, another 43. You guys could be between the ages of 33 and 43. This could be a year 4, 3, or 7 for you. I know we're in a 7 collective year, but 43 may be a significant number for you for whatever reason. It could just be your favorite number. But it says harvest. As the waves of the ocean are infinite, as the trees in the forest grow tall, let my work now bring me to harvest. I am ready to receive my all. Okay, so this is letting you know, moving forward, it's okay for you to step into this energy completely. Sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to get one quick shuffle. All right. Your number one archetype is understanding that once you release the judgments from the past that you've been holding against yourself and heal that and come back into wholeness and find that peace and that tranquility, that calmness, that settled energy within yourself, what you're going to realize is that you have the capability of bringing everything into fruition that you desire for your life, because you do that from such a fair and equal place. So as a healing witch, that I get this almost caution awareness energy for you guys, where it's your guides just want you to remember that sometimes this judge gets off balance, and the reason why the judge gets off balance is because when you have that fear of being judged or condemned, when you have that fear that if you're not out spearheading, there will be no justice, there will be no fairness, or when you have a fear that if you come out and you spearhead any kind of campaign, that you will be treated unjustly and unfairly. If you have these fears are what lead you to actually putting yourself out of balance, because you don't see your own wholeness. You don't see your own completeness. And so you seek to fix other people in the outside world in some way, shape, or form. And when you seek to fix others, you fail to see that you're not meant to fix them. And in a lot of ways, you don't even need to fix yourself, because this wholeness card is just screaming at me that you're already healed. You've already healed this wound, but there's still just that, it's like a niggling fear, and it's not an intuition niggle. It's a past, it's almost like a poltergeist energy, but not as malevolent. It's just like this tiny little, it's almost like Peeves, the poltergeist, who just likes to create a little bit of mayhem. But it's just this kind of little bit of energy within your energy field from your own mentality in the past. And it can throw you off balance when you don't realize that that's coming from within yourself. It's coming from a past part of yourself that's ready to be released. It makes you fear whether you are protected, but it also makes you become reactive and feel like you're meant to protect the entirety of the world. And the truth is you're meant to come to the world as a whole individual and to show them what it looks like to be a different kind of healer, to just be. And it's a beautiful kind of magic that you carry within you. But you're not meant to protect the world. You're not meant to heal the world. You're meant to be a beacon of these things by living it completely within your own energy, within who you are completely. And that's why this tranquility card is coming up so much, is because it's about sorry guys, it sounds so sarcastic, but I just heard it's about time that you give yourself some peace. It's about time that you speak to yourself with some compassion. It's about time that you rebalance these scales. And the only way that you need to rebalance the scales is not by outer action. It's by loving yourself. And more completeness, more wholeness. It's about loving all of the nurturing, mothering energy that you carry within. You may have been having a hard time loving your divine feminine energy for a while, and that's coming around here. Because with the 43, I'm like drawn to splitting the numbers. So we have the 4 and the 3. So that's the Emperor and the Empress. And that's a harmonic energy between divine masculine and divine feminine in the outer world. But with the divine masculine in the lead, sometimes he can overshadow, but you have more divine feminine energy that is like, hi, I'm here. Can we do this? So let's get your advice for moving forward. You've got to be shitting me. We've got the Judgment card, guys. I love it. And we've got the Judgment card, right? That's the card 20. It's Pluto energy. And Pluto is currently transiting through the end of Capricorn. And this is being filmed in Capricorn season and coming out in Capricorn season. So this is a good energy collectively for all of us, but especially for you, pile one, with it coming out, for you to really do this transformation, really do this purification. Understand that you're not meant to protect the world. You're simply meant to protect the world that is contained within you. Yeah, 4 with stability. See, and again, it's literally the sun in Capricorn. So this purification is meant to help you feel stable, grounded, whole, healed within yourself. It's to help you move forward in your earthly endeavors so that you know that you don't have to, hearing chance the wheel of fate. I've never heard that before. It's interesting. Chance the wheel of fate. You don't have to chance the wheel of fate. You can just trust. And then we have the King of Wands, okay? And that is the entrepreneurial energy that I always get. Okay, this is Arthur Weasley, because I am seeing Muggle artifacts up here. And he works in the Office of the Misuse of Muggle Artifacts. But he loves to study these things, and he loves to learn different ways of using them. And that's that healing energy that I got. Like, you learn certain things, but you learn unique ways of working with it, unique ways of defining it for yourself. So this is a lot of really powerful energy for you. And it's letting you know that when you release these judgments and you release this fear that you're going to be chained down and judged, you really have your own personal reckoning. You have your own personal awakening, awareness, release from all of the chains that have been holding you down. And when you allow that to happen, when you really surrender to that, you bring this beautiful balance. You let go of your own mind. And, this Judgment card actually has an allusion back to the Devil card, because we've got 5, 3, and 7, and that's 15. And then, you look at that Devil card, and that's really what this is. It's like the longer that you stay in the Devil energy, which is Capricorn energy, the longer you stay in that energy, the longer you keep those chains on yourself, and you're chaining yourself up. So when the Judgment call comes in, or the Judgment card comes in, it's this call of awareness to release yourself from the bonds that you've put on yourself, to understand that you are divinely protected. The only one judging you right now, the only judgment that you're getting is that which you're giving to yourself. So if we reduce the 15 down to a 6, we get the Lover's card, and the Lover's card is about making a decision. So if you are judging decisions that you have made in the past, you're the one who can bring yourself back into wholeness by healing that. Now is the time to let all of that go, so that you can actually reap the benefits of everything that you have done thus far. Wow. Okay. So yeah, we've got the 8 of Swords with interference. So that's, Jupiter in Gemini. See, Gemini energy. Yeah. So it's when you have the 8 of Swords energy, and we've got the winged keys. The winged keys jobs were to create chaos. So sometimes when Jupiter moves into Gemini energy, and you have that interaction of, the duality with the expansion, it can create a kind of chaotic energy. And you feel trapped, just like the 8 of Swords. You feel this energy of trapped. How do you get out of the energy of trapped is by understanding which key is meant for you. You know which key is meant for you. Once you make the decision, that's your key. That's the right one. That's all you focus on. When you do that, that's actually how you expand, because the key opens the door to the next phase. And that's what you're seeking here, is that next phase, that next expansion. It's releasing yourself from the chains here. And the chains are nothing more or less than a judgment that's keeping you feeling as though you have no stability in this line of work, or in this line of, it's like this line of life. It's like this lifestyle that you're living. But your stability is in this. Yes, see, we've got individuality with Zoe. Do we have any more here? And that's Zoe Redbird. All right. High Priestess of Spirit, another 7. 4s, 3s, and 7s for you guys. That's some powerful, powerful energy. That is creativity, fertility, stability, foundational stability, grounding, and spiritual awareness and alignment. Okay. And cycles. Another, seriously, 37. Okay. And here we've got Chromatia with listening. And on the card, it says, darkness does not always equate to evil. Light does not always bring good. And I actually literally sent that quote in a email to Alyssa from Celtic Fairy Tarot and Ember Moon Tarot. I literally sent exactly that quote to them both when we were talking about this collaboration and, some cards I had pulled for the collective. I love that. So this is literally saying that you're being called here to really step into the individuality that you are. Find your rooting and your stability in who you are, in being a high priestess. And this is not gender specific, but being a high priestess of spirit, of being unique, being your own person, going your own way. That healing, the healing energy of defining what you perceive as healing. Because I'm telling you guys, one of the energies that I get with the judgment, the Aquarius energy here is a lawyer. And I want you guys to understand that some lawyers are the most healing people. My daughter Eliza wants to become a child advocacy lawyer because she had a child advocacy lawyer who was so impactful and fought for her so hard, heard her and defended her because it was the right thing to do. It wasn't just because she was being paid, because she was being paid by me, her, and her father. So the plaintiff and the defendant were both paying for her. So she was contracted by the court for the truth, and she changed how my daughter Eliza operated, how she viewed the world. She changed how she came forth into the world. She reignited a fire within her because she showed her how she could take her Aquarian energy and really fuel it into something, anything that made her feel as though she could help others. And that is so healing, especially in the world that we live in. So if you take this kind of energy, there is a book. Give me one moment. Let me grab the book for you guys. All right, guys. So this is the book. It's Waking the Witch by Pam Grossman. And she's the host of the Witch Wave podcast. But she talks in this book, she talks a lot about the world's perception of witches, as well as, women and magic and being out in the working world, in the corporate world, so to speak, and being a witch within those bounds and understanding how those all play together. So can we get just a little bit of just some closing advice for my pile ones on this magic they contain within? I absolutely love how I did not set any kind of expectations for how these readings were going to go. I just wanted them to flow free and natural. And I love this energy. You guys are amazing. Yeah. Daffodil Fairy with New Beginnings. And then we have the card Guardians of the Land and Protection. Again, you have two You have 2 protection cards. Look at this, 2 protection cards. 21, which reduces to a 3. Also, it's world energy, which is closing energy, comes after the judgment card. And we've got 10 with new beginnings. 47 reduces to an 11. 111. 37 reduces to 10. So we've got a lot of 1s, 7s, 3s, 4s. Wow. Yeah. Crystal Cave and trust. It's learning to trust your own path, your own guidance, your own abilities, learning to trust yourself and what you see as your pathway forward. You guys are these beautiful healing souls, and you have the ability to really, really elicit change in this world in a really practical way. That's what I'm getting, is this deeply practical way. You have the ability to do this if you so choose. If that part doesn't resonate with you, apply it in whatever way it feels right to you. But you guys are doubly protected, triply protected, really, because we've got the pentagram, which is a protection energy. We've got the protection card here, the protection card here. If this is about you guys building some sort of healing business based off of some sort of healing magic that you do, however you define it, this is saying, do this purification because there's just a little bit of energy from the past. If any of you guys have access to ocean water is really great too for that. I know I took some back with me when I went to Florida. And I use that when I need to do really deep elemental cleansing. I will use the ocean water and the ocean sand because it is so natural, and it's a natural healing, clearing, purification energy. It also really, really helps you connect with the natural world and the healing that is there. Don't be afraid to let your spirit lead you forward. There is so much goodness here for you. Pile 1. You guys are so loved. You are so safe. You are so safe to embark on this journey. You really are. And remember, whenever you see new beginnings, the new beginning is based off of how you define it. All of the shadow energy is telling you and me here that the biggest thing that you're needing right now is this cleansing of the distractions, of the shiny things that may look like it's for you, so that you can hear yourself deeply, so you can hear your spirit, your higher self, your calling, so you can trust in yourself and trust in your own uniqueness and individuality, and allow yourself to really learn how to flow with the cycles. You guys may be healing lunar witches, is what I'm hearing as well. Cancer may be strong in your chart, sun, moon, rising. Or Venus. I just heard or Venus, and it was pretty strong, especially with this energy up here. So pile 1, your magic is in being you first and foremost, but it's also in being fair, balanced, harmonious, in seeing what needs to be changed and being willing to make that change. That's your truest magic. It's powerful, powerful. If it was not as powerful as it is, these protection cards would not be coming up like this. This is very impressive. You are very, very impressive. Even if you don't feel like it, it is seen, it is known. All right, pile 1. This was beautiful. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to your guides, my guides, spirit, for facilitating the connection between our energies and allowing these messages to flow forth so smoothly. Thank you as well to Alyssa with Celtic Fairy Tarot, to Ember Moon Tarot for these readings, this collaboration. Bringing us together is yeah, it's so beautiful. I'm like giddy over, over this collaboration. You guys make sure that you go and you check their parts of the collaboration out. Alyssa is doing fairies and Ember is doing shamans. I know I forgot to mention that in the introduction. My brain is so like, I told him, I was like, this is like the worst structured collab I've ever done right now. Just because I'm like, I'm so excited. So I'm like a little kid. I'm doing this all off balance, but I definitely want to say thank you to them so much for this. And you guys, please make sure you go and check their readings out. They are incredible. They are insightful. They have a way of seeing others that's just so beautiful. And they're each tapping into energies that are just powerful. And yeah, I'm honored to do the reading with them. I'm also honored to have you guys here on my channel. A really great equal energy exchange for the reading, as always, is to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, comment in the comment section below, let other pile ones know. You know, solidarity really helps during these times as well. And yeah, just thank you again. And I would love to hear back from you guys about how this resonated. Go ahead and check out the description box or the comment section for the links to those two readings and, you know, all my other fun links. But those two readings are more important. So, all right, you guys, I love you, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the second pile, this is all about how to discover the magic within yourself or rediscover the magic within yourself and get connected with your current or overall archetype of witch, wizard, warlock, kind of depending on how you view it. But it's essentially, you know, the archetype that stands, I keep hearing, oversees your magic. That's pretty cool, pile 2. So I am super spacey right now, and I do know that in the intro I did mention, you know, that this is a collaboration and an archetypal collaboration. I don't know that I mentioned which readings each one of us are doing. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but just so you guys know, I wanted to start this reading off with giving a huge shout out to Celtic Fairy Tarot and Ember Moon Tarot for doing this collaboration and for the absolutely amazing energies and messages that we get to bring forth. I'm tickled by this. And guys, I promise you, this is going to get easier to listen to me right now. There's a lot of crown energy with your pile in particular. So I am trying to wade through it. But as I was opening up to your energy, I was like, if the reading is like this the whole time, I don't know that I can, I just don't know how to get through it. And I heard quite distinctly, this is to help you, pile 2, with navigating this energy. So I have to be able to experience it so I can understand it. And then I'm going to have the guides kind of pull back. That's why I wanted to cover, you know, the collaboration prior. So Alyssa with Celtic Fairy Tarot is doing your inner fae, your inner fairy energy or archetype and how that manifests. And Ember with Ember Moon Tarot, she is doing your shamanic archetype. All 3 of these areas are just, they are so exciting to me. And I get this feeling from the energy because I was not this way when I was filming other piles. So this is very specific to your energy, that like the the whole like me being tickled pink feels like your energy, just kind of in my energy right now. Okay, pile 2. If you guys came here from Alyssa and Celtic Fairy Tarot, you guys are still carrying some fairy energy with you. And if you didn't come from that reading, please go check it out. All right. So we're going to talk about kind of the overall energy. But before we do that, we definitely are going to need to do some clearing. So I'm going to light this incense first. And hopefully this works. I want to light your candle as well. Can we get some peace, clarity, and grounding energy? Oh, thank you. Okay. I'm going to clear it with the incense too. Okay. That's just, oh, that's better. Thank you. My crown chakra energy just got far more concentrated. Okay. So pile 2, you guys chose the pile that had the signifier card house spells. And the energy that I get from you is kind of like, I'm not a witch. I don't practice things like that. And that's fine. You know, I don't like doing labels personally. Been down that train, not thrilled with it. Really kind of stay away from there. So let's do a double cleanse clear of this energy. Oh yeah. The smoke is coming out so thick for you guys right now. Ooh, buddy. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. That feels a lot better. You can see as thick as the smoke is. That's how thick the energy is for your pile. It was nowhere near like this for other piles and energies. And in fact, when I was prepping for your pile, I actually was directed to get a completely new Palo Santo stick. Don't use the same one I was using. It was like, you guys need like a deeper energy cleanse for this reading. And I understand why, because that energy that I was sitting in the beginning, that crown chakra energy, that was really hard to work through. It's kind of like, I'll actually tell you this incense is lotus, and that's the energy that it was like. It was like, you were trying to push yourself out of mud, or you may still feel that way. I know for me, it feels like I'm kind of pulled out of it now, which is a huge relief. But the reason why I was getting this energy of like not realizing your own magic the way that you're working it is because there is this type of witch that I never heard of, and it's called a house witch. And that's why I brought this out here, because when I read this book, I was so fascinated. I was so fascinated by just the concept of it. And you don't even have to do like rituals and spells without realizing, or in your conscious awareness. Sometimes you do it without realizing it. So something that I learned from this is like, sometimes you do things around the house, like make your bed, or, you know, a specific way of cleaning and moving energy around. Like I talk about moving furniture around as an energy cleanse and an energy shift. And these things that we do, we don't realize that what we're doing is we're working with energy. And that's a big proponent of witchcraft for me, is just working with energy. And because everything in the world is made up of energy, when you learn how to, I know people call it manipulating energy, but to me, it's collaborating, co-creating with energy. When you learn how to collaborate with energy and, you know, have that connection, that I call it a relationship that you, with energy that you can't necessarily see, but you can feel, especially within your home, you are working a special kind of magic. Now, for you, pile 2, everything seems very concentrated in the crown chakra and maybe a little bit into the third eye. But because that crown chakra is so intensely focused on right now, it's kind of hard to to see where it's connected anywhere else. So number one, grounding may help you guys. If you are in the Northern Hemisphere where it's winter, I understand, because I live somewhere where it's really dangerous to try and ground. Alternate methods. If you search on Google Schumann resonance, they have these amazing videos that are just the vibration of the Schumann resonance at 7.83 hertz. And when I am in the middle of winter and I need to ground really fast, I will go in my basement and I will turn that video on, because when I'm in the basement, I'm surrounded by earth. That video takes maybe 15 minutes, and me just closing my eyes and really tapping into that, because it's the earth's vibration, before I start feeling that grounding energy. When your crown gets really pressurized, you can feel kind of spacey. As for this pile in particular, I do get a lot of energy of work from home. So I get this energy that you're at home a lot, in your home, even if you are renting and you don't own. That place that you spend the most time in is directly attuned to your energy. And right now there's a hyper pressure, whether you're putting the pressure on yourself and then that's causing this. That's not really what I'm getting. I'm getting more of an awakening pressure. And I don't think this is your first one. I get kind of an awakening pressure to more of your magic. And that would be one of the big reasons why that attraction to this reading would be in place. Let's get into it, just because I can still feel the dense and heaviness of the energy. I think we might actually do another one of these. So I have this house spells, and this is from a Practical Witch deck. And I'm just going to read this spell for you, and I'll move it up on the camera if you guys want to screenshot it. If you want to practice this, you don't have to. Oh my gosh, I love it. Because I talked about making the bed. I promise I haven't read these. So we have Blissful Bed Blessing. And it says, in a red cup, mix a 1/4 teaspoon of jasmine oil and a 1/2 teaspoon of rose oil. With a cotton ball, touch it to your clean cotton sheets 7 times from where you rest your head to your feet, once for each chakra point. Then say aloud, in this bed I show my love. In this bed I share my body. In this bed I give my heart. In this bed we are one. Here my happiness lies, as I give and live in total joy. Blessed be to me and thee. Now lie down and roll around in the bed. After all, that is what it is for. Okay, let me move it up so you guys can see. If you want to screenshot it, feel free. So this is that energy that I was picking up in the beginning, the rituals energy. This book, The House Witch, it really does talk a lot about how you make your everyday life in your home a sort of ritual. You make it a sacred thing. Like when you're sweeping, when you're cleaning, you do it with intention. When you start infusing conscious awareness and conscious intention into the things that you do, even if you don't use like the essential oils on your bed, but you do a conscious intention, so that when you get up in the morning and you make the bed, and your conscious intention for making the bed is, I am consciously closing down last night. And as I move the sheets in place and put the pillows in place and make this bed, I am calling back any energy from the dream state. I am grounding myself into today, and I am greeting the world with a fullness and a readiness to move forward in my life, in my energy, and everything like that. Like you said it how you want to. You know, monks actually practice the art of making the bed every day as a means of signaling to their minds, their bodies, and their energy field, as well as signaling outside of themselves that they have brought themselves into a state of readiness and preparedness for the day to come, for whatever they are going to do that day. It's a means of really starting your day off with saying, I'm closing this down. I'm awakening. I am coming forth, just like the sun rises and breaks the horizon in the east and shines forth. As the sun rises in the morning, so too do I rise in the morning. And as I make this bed, it is the same as the moon going down in the west. So the moon is going to bed and the sun is coming up. And I am arising with the sun. And it gets you into this flow and energy state. And it is actually a very powerful energetic ritual that you can get in the habit of. I've been doing that for a few years before I even realized that it was something like that. And I have noticed now that I am more consciously aware that when I don't make the bed personally, like if my husband makes the bed without me, or I get up and I don't make the bed, I go about my morning and whatever, that I feel very sluggish early in the morning. And then I'll be like, oh, I need to go make the bed when I go down to make it. And I make it that it's it's basically you train your energy to have that signal. When you are working with your house, there are many ways where you can make it a sacred act and your home becomes your sacred space. So it's not constrained to one area. It is spread out throughout your entire area. Now, the thing with that is, as a spiritual person, and pile two, I point blank, you guys are highly spiritual. If you weren't, I would not have been drawn to the lotus incense. You are highly spiritual, highly evolved, highly conscious of a pile, deeply attuned to many different energies. I'm getting ascended masters, angels, archangels, the fae. I am getting mythology, Greek, Roman, Egyptian, for sure, Mesopotamian, Mayan, Aztec, Orishas are coming through. I just heard down in the bio. So you may feel called to hoodoo with root work. That may be something that you practice as well. That actually is coming through really strong now. Wow. You may want to study Marie Laveau if you feel calm. If you don't, just let that message pass. But I feel this high level spiritual energy with you. I just heard untouchable spiritual energy. It's kind of like the energy is something that even you don't fully consciously understand. And that's no offense. I don't fully consciously understand my own energy. I think in this, in any incarnation, we're always learning more about ourselves, and we don't understand the full expansiveness that we truly are on a soul level until we return back to spirit and light form. But that's okay. I don't think we're meant to understand the fullness of it. I don't think the human brain could quite grasp it on a rational level. With the energy of a house witch and this blissful bed blessing, this is about getting back into, it's like getting back into alignment, getting back into, you start getting back into bed with yourself. It's like getting back in touch with your own energy. When we are highly spiritual, highly evolved beings, and we have that kind of energy and magic and ability to co-create with energy, the way that you can pile to, there is a deep need to do. It's like you guys got to bear with me. I've never seen this before, but I'm watching. You guys can't see it, but there's incense smoke. I'm watching it go up from the incense stick, and for a while it's just kind of flat and flowing, And then it starts looking like a lasagna noodle. So it's like ripply on the edges. And I just heard it's like a lasagna cleanse kind of thing. So, and now I'm seeing Shrek with, ogres who have layers. Ogres are like onions, they have layers. They're not like parfaits or cakes, so because people like those things. But literally hearing Eddie Murphy in my head, like parfait. Anyway, with the lasagna, what I get from that is whatever phase you've just exited out of pile 1, it brought you to a place where you are awakening to a new level of energy, magic, manifestation, purpose. I'm hearing The Purpose-Driven Life. I think that's a book. I don't know who. I don't have that book, but I'm pretty sure that's a book. But it didn't come without consequences. And I don't use that word lightly. I never use the word consequences lightly at all, especially not on the spiritual journey. There's a lot of Saturnian energy I feel with whatever phase you just came out of. It felt heavy. It felt impossible. And it might still feel that way, but that's a lingering perception. And now this is where the lasagna comes in. It's like peeling back the layers that you have had to do, peeling back your own layers to get to the core of yourself. Now you need to reform those layers in a new way. So it's like building a energetic lasagna. You set an intention of something and you do that, and that's your first layer. And then you take an action based off of the intention that you set. That's that second layer. And then you do a clearing, and that's that third layer. And then you set another intention. And that's the next layer, and you do that until you feel as though everything is cleared from the prior cycle that you are aware of that needs clearing. And then the rest of it, I'm hearing, essentially give it up to God, give it up to spirit, give it up to the universe, to your guides, whatever it is. But there's something here that feels like a spiral. It's like the roundabout or round and round path, the round and round path, that spiraling path that you were on. I don't think you're on it anymore. I think that you have dissipated a lot of the confusion that had you constantly going in circles. And now I'm being brought back to my Hansel and Gretel breadcrumb message. And it's kind of like you realized that if you wanted to get out of this spiral, out of this round and round energy, you needed to figure out a way to use breadcrumbs for yourself instead of being breadcrumbed, is what I'm hearing. And I get the energy that's one of the reasons why you were led here, is so that you can understand that you basically, like, you left pieces of the way out for you to find. I don't know if you guys, astrally, yeah. Look, and seriously, take the smoke as confirmation on that one. You guys did it astrally. That would be why there's such a high energy of getting grounded when you wake up, of greeting the day in conscious awareness, coming forth in conscious awareness, because you guys have been doing so much astrally. So much astrally. You guys are incredibly gifted. Wow, you guys have some massive talent. I've never seen a gift like this or felt a gift like this. It's like you guys can go pretty much anywhere and do just about anything. And many of you remember it. But there is a need to cleanse so that you can see what you've done. That way you remember your own magic. That was not what I was expecting from your pile. That's pretty intense. All right, let's take a look at your archetype and some of the other energies. So here's your archetype. Oh my God, look, spirals. Look, the seed. See, yes, you had to, it's like a tree. You had to peel back the layers of time. Peel back all of the layers, all the lives, everything. You had to peel back the layers of time to get to the core. And the core is nothing more or less than you. But there are some lingering energies in your home right now. That's why this house witch energy is there. And that may be why you don't necessarily identify that way. But if you're doing a lot of work in your home, it's about realizing that it's like, let's do this lasagna cleanse, lasagna protection. Yeah. Career. See? Life purpose. Holy crap, you guys. Trees. Something about trees is very important to you. I don't know if maybe you guys are Celtic. I did say I was picking up fairy energy, and yeah. Druidry. You may just really be called to trees at this time. But there's something about understanding the nature of your ability to root yourself into this existence, and about the ways that time is shown in trees. So this seed card is like when you cut a tree and you look at the trunk of the tree, it's going to have rings like this. Each ring signifies a year. If you look at this card specifically, look how many rings are on just this one card. Okay, imagine that tenfold. That's like your soul. If you were to partition or take a splice out of your soul and look at it like a tree trunk, the amount of lines, the amount of circles, not just based off of past lives, but experiences you've had, lessons you've learned, growth, skills, magic that you have within you, you would be amazed. But the thing that you would really want to know is the core energy, this middle energy, this seed energy, that seed energy that tells you of who you are and what your worth is and what your purpose is. So a lot of the times on this spiritual journey, we lump a life purpose and a career together. And then there are so many people who are now teaching that these are two separate things. But for you, in particular, pile 2, for you, this is about them being the same thing. This is about you taking what your life purpose is and turning it into a career. It's already there. It's already there, but it has something to do with your home, working out of your home, or, you may build homes, you may renovate homes, you may be an interior design, you may be a landscaper, I'm hearing that too, or real estate, something, but you also may be someone who can help other people understand how to take a purpose and create a career out of it without the career being what the world defines it as. There's a lot seeded inside of you. And in a way, you really are a seed in the world. You guys have some very unique magic. Very, very rare, unique magic. Whatever seed you contain, but that you are, you're like Johnny Appleseed. You're meant to spread it in some way, shape, or form. I just heard go out on a limb. Whatever risk it is that you're thinking of taking and you think that you can't handle it, you can't do it, those are negative mentalities from the prior cycle that are ready to be released. You already have, it's like you've already played out every possible scenario in your dream state, that all you really need to do is cleanse. This is very unique. Okay, so we've got 3 with desire. We've got a planchette here. Cancer and the earth element. You may have Cancer in the 3rd house or the 2nd house or the 5th house. Or you could have your moon in the 2nd, 6th, or 10th house. Give me just one moment, guys. Okay, so with this desire card, 22. I needed to flip this. I'm sorry. I needed to flip this. 22, safe travel. Keep me safe and let me roam far away, but bring me home. This is your number 1 right now. You need to understand that when you lay your head down, you travel at night. It's what you do. You astral travel. And with this 22, that's the master builder number. It is a master number. You don't reduce it. It's the master builder number. So when you sleep, you literally travel different dimensions, different places. And it's construction. It's like you're building your life, and then you seed that awareness when you come back. You seed it right before you wake up. And you're not the type, I'm not the type to journal. Don't ask me to journal. I'm not going to ask you guys to, if that doesn't resonate with you and you're like, yeah, of course I will, then absolutely please do. But the energy of I don't journal, please don't tell me to do, there's a huge push off energy with that. That's fine, guys. That's just fine. For you, it's like you need to act it out. You need to go through the motions of it. You need to, it's like, look through the planchette. And I know, please, don't go out and buy a Ouija board if you don't know how to work with the energies. And it's the planchette itself. It has a small lens. And it's said that if you put the planchette up to your eye, you can see the spirit that you're speaking with. But it's almost like you need to put the planchette up to your eye, but it's not quite the Ouija board planchette. It's more like, it's like you have a special lens that you can consciously put into your eyesight. This is something ancestral in nature. But the inner magic that you have is you can literally take a desire, ground it in from your heart, from the spiritual realms, and create it. You can also communicate. You guys may be mediums. Like I said, you guys are highly spiritual mediums, channelers. You may do energy cleanse of homes. Yeah, differences. 36. You may be I don't like saying shadow witch because it has such a negative connotation, but you may identify as both a light and shadow worker, or magic worker, as in you tend to tap into the shadow in order to bring more light. There's so much here. There's so many layers here, but you work with your differences for growth. You blend things that shouldn't blend together. It's like, you carve your own path. Like if you were pouring water over sand, you carve your own path. And you know how to do that. But you have this very unique lens. You see desire in a completely different way. There's something very curious here. And I can't quite touch it. And it's not because it's not because I'm not worthy. It's literally because you don't want me to. Something, I don't know what that energy was, guys. You guys have kind of a pushback energy to you. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's kind of like, I can do this myself. I got this. I got this. Like Robin from, yeah. You guys are like Robin from How I Met Your Mother. It's like, she's like, I got this. Yeah, we have honesty. Okay. I need one more, please, Spirit and Spirit Guides. For pile 2. Can you? Yeah. High Priestess of Air. And on the back, we have another 22, another one, and letting go. Okay. You guys do so much in your sleep state. One of the biggest pieces of your inner magic that is really, really powerful in you right now is that astral traveling. And it can make it very hard to communicate. It can make it incredibly difficult to speak what you need to speak. It's like, how do I articulate it? How do I verbalize it? How do I navigate my way through all of this? Like, how do I get through all the layers to the seed of what I'm trying to speak and make it cohesive, make it comprehensible? How you do that is that you recognize that there are going to always be differences in everyone. Go with what your desire is. When you feel as though you are not fully in your body, when you feel as though you're not fully able to ground yourself, you can't think straight, you can't communicate clearly, trust that feeling, because that's a part of you that is calling for you to anchor yourself back down. The moon in Cancer, we look at this emotionally, and yes, it's an incredibly powerful emotional energy. It also is an incredibly powerful soul level psychic energy. For the number 3 to pop up and the earth energy, it's like you're learning how to ground psychic awareness, insight, information into the physical form so that you can communicate it out, because this 3 keeps popping out at me as though it is, as though it's the 3rd house. And then I heard 3, 6, 9, and we have 3, 6, and 9. So we have desire, the high priestess of air, and differences. You can see and speak what the difference is in certain awarenesses, certain desires that come from the heart or come from the soul. You can see all the differences of that. You have this level of perception that's different. The full moon in Cancer may have been incredibly powerful in your life. Incredibly powerful in your life. 3, 6, 9 is also, it's 396 is correlated to the 396 hertz is correlated to the root chakra. Again, with the grounding energy, there's a lot of a need to ground yourself. There's this need for more earth energy. With the career and the life purpose, both of which having trees, the seed, which is tree energy, there is a deep need right now for you to ground. I cannot emphasize that enough. There's a deep need for you to ground. Whether this past moon phase illuminated to you something that you needed to see within yourself, or whether this is resonating too much with you and it feels like too much of like a dose of honesty, whatever it is, like it's going to be different for everybody, but this honesty card is almost kind of like, I don't want to look at it. It almost feels a little bit triggering. And here's the thing, that fire is coming up in the moon. So it could, this last moon phase could have awoken a lot within you. But there's this energy here to remember that you are the master at building your existence, building your life. You literally do this on the ethereal plane, or the astral plane. Every single night you keep going. I'm actually seeing somebody who can go through the timelines and see little, it's that breadcrumb energy. You see little pieces that you need to know in order to move forward. So your biggest archetype, Prince of Cups, that's about your passions. And we've got Draco Malfoy. It's realizing that you're not actually, it's like breaking free of the bounds of what is expected of you. Because with Draco, he was expected to be a dark wizard, but he never really had the heart for it. He just wasn't that person. He had morality. And you may have felt challenged in the past by something that challenged your morality, a desire that may not have been your honest truth. It challenged what your truest passions are. Queen of Discs. Yeah, because you wanted to sit in this grounded energy of truth and awareness. You wanted to really ground yourself here. That would be why House Switch, as well as coming out, you want roots here. You want to feel at home here. You want to feel like you belong here. And I get that. That's a huge passion within you, is just feeling like you belong, feeling successful. But it's important to realize what the truth is versus desire. What is honest and what is desire? Because desire can lead us down the wrong path if we don't know how to harness it for our highest good. And recognizing the difference between those two and realizing neither one is inherently bad. It's not like evil. Desire is not evil. It's simply that it can lead you astray because it can make you too quick. And the Queen of Discs energy is never a quick energy. She is diligent. She's dedicated. You think of Pomona Sprout, right? Yeah, Professor Sprout. Yeah. And how much time she dedicates to her greenhouses. It's about the tortoise rather than the hare, the slow and steady. Queen of Wands. Yeah, because you need to step into your power. See, and here we've got Molly Weasley. And Molly Weasley she's the epitome of knowing how to harness all the magic within her and see her power within the home, really. Look, Star, this is literally my belonging card in this deck. It's like you looked everywhere but yourself for a place to belong, for what your life purpose was, for what to do, but you shifted that through the moon phase. And now what's awakening within you is your ability to actually do this. I don't know if you guys have ever realized, let me know in the comment section below, but have you ever realized that you actually seed purpose into everything that you do in a way that awakens within others how they can move in a better way? And that may have been triggering for some people and led to pain and anguish. Why? Because you speak your truth. You sit in your power. Divine feminine energy is really strong here. I picked that up a little bit with another pile, but for you, it's primarily divine feminine. I'm not picking up a whole lot of divine masculine at all. That may be why you feel a little off kilter as well, because it's really hard when you don't have that divine masculine. It may be time for some divine masculine healing, and I'm hearing that you might hear that in one of the other readings as well. Take that as a double confirmation. Divine masculine is not a bad energy. They are different for a reason. They are meant to be different. They're meant to teach us how to harness both aspects. Nikola Tesla may be significant for some of you. Okay, we've got butterfly spirit transformation with number 8. Yeah, this is about grounding that transformation. And the star is 17 and it reduces to an 8 as well. You may have Aquarius in the 8th house. That would make you a Cancer rising. That would be understandable too. Okay. This is transformation. That moon put you in a transformation. The seed and this transformation card, they both have pearls. You found some sort of pearl of wisdom. You have a vision. The vision you have is what you were meant to do. This is not where I thought this was going to go. Sixes are significant for you. You may be 26 to 36. However, you may be born in June. June may be very significant for you. Wow. Okay. June may be very significant for you. Guys, we've got a third 22. Maybe a life path 22. Hummingbird spirit with joy. You guys are my breaking bounds energy. You guys are the ones that, like, you know, I don't conform to rules. And then we have another Raven spirit with truth with the card number 32. Truth and honesty, they're no different. I'm going to put this here. Whatever you've learned about yourself. Yeah. Frog spirit with renewal with card 20. So twos are very, very, very important. That's High Priestess energy. That's choice energy. All right. So let's get back to this. There's something as far as your home here that I'm feeling. Cleansing, transforming, working with it. There's something inside of you awakening. There's so much here. I can see why everything is so discombobulated right now for you guys. I can. The number one thing that I'm getting here is letting go of anything that anybody else says. The desires of others and the desires to do whatever others need of you, want of you, tell you to do whatever, that needs to be let go quickly. I'm hearing quickly, like quickly, let it go quickly. Call upon the frog spirit, allow that cleansing and renewal, and cleanse your bedroom. I don't know if you guys are chronically ill. I know I have chronic illnesses, and when I get really bad, I work from my bed. And when I do that, I have to double cleanse my bedroom. I don't like working from my bedroom when I do spiritual work. It might be advisable, if you do, to no longer work in your bedroom because it's clouding the energy with the past. But there's a lot of energy cleansing that is being called for you to do so that you can really harness your feminine energy in a new way. Whatever truth has come to light where you have realized that even you are different now. Your hopes are different. Your dreams are different. Your desires are different. Your passions are different. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself, because the more honest you are with yourself, the more you accept your own truth, everything that's going on here, the more you step into your own power and you allow for this transformation, the more you realize how far you've come, how many odds were truly stacked against you, and what level of mastery you actually have in your life so that you stop allowing anybody else to have power over you. And then pile two, when you figure this out, like, let me know. I'm still learning this lesson. I'm freaking impressed by you guys. Guys, there is absolutely nothing more coming in. I'm sorry if this was very disjointed. I truly, truly hope that this helps you understand. Like, you guys have so much power. It's outrageous. You guys, pile two, you are absolutely incredible. You really are. You have so many gifts, so much awareness. There is a high need to ground. And I feel like you guys hear that a lot. And you may get really mad at me for saying that. I can take it. I promise I can take it. Like, if you need to get mad, I understand. But I wouldn't say it if I did not feel like I am floating in the ethers right now, sitting in your energy. Because I did not feel this way until I connected with your energy. So pile two, definitely make sure you guys check out Celtic Fairy Tarot if you haven't already. as well as Ember Moon Tarot, I have the feeling both of those have little pieces for you, because this feels like breadcrumbs. And I don't like breadcrumbs personally, but I feel like that message about how you have gone through and breadcrumbed certain information, that's what I feel like this whole entire reading was. And now I have high pitched ringing in my left ear, which is divine feminine energy again. All right. Okay. Pile 2. There it is. The on and the transmutation. That tells me that this reading is as far as I can get with your energy. All right, pile 2. I love you guys. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to your guides, my guide spirit, for facilitating the connection between our energies and allowing these messages to flow forth in as much as they were able. I hope this really helped. If this resonated, a really great way of equal energy exchange is doing the YouTube things. Like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. Comment in the comment section below, pile 2, if you feel comfortable sharing anything with the collective of what is going on, what you're experiencing. I think we would all be pretty amazed. Could just be me because I'm sitting in your energy, but you have me curious. Pile 2, you have me curious. And now I have that kind of like mischievous grin on my face, like, this is some exciting stuff. All right, pile 2, I'm going to leave you guys here. I love you guys, and I will see you at my next reading. Oh, links are in the description box and the comment section. I love you guys. Mwah. Bye. Hello, pile 3. So we're going to cleanse the energy here. And this is actually the second time I am cleansing your guys' energy. I do want to preface this with, as I move through these piles, the energies do tend to change drastically. But I have noticed kind of an undercurrent of a lot of awakenings, a lot of awarenesses coming in, revelations, as well as a lot of crown pressure. And your energy in particular, pile 3, one of the ways that I would describe this is very similar to in the summertime when the Schumann resonance starts spiking a lot. And the summertime per, northern hemisphere energy, you'll see the Schumann resonance start spiking a lot. And that's the vibrations within the earth itself. When that happens, and I'm having a little bit of a hard time, I did ground myself and did like a really deep cleanse, but I've had a lot of trouble navigating some of these energies lately. And I just want to be completely open with you guys. I'm going to do my best, but I know when I start these readings off, in order to be able to kind of penetrate into, it's almost like there's a dense fog for you guys. In order to get myself through the fog to what clarity I'm supposed to be bringing forth, I've got to explain what it feels like and how to correlate it. So during the summer, the Schumann resonance will spike really high. It can go as high as, in the, I want to say I've seen it as high as in the 80s or so, when we're supposed to be at 7.83 hertz. And when that happens, human bodies themselves have a reaction, have a response to it. Blood pressure can go up. You can get a lot more anxious, a lot more, you can have a lot more anger or just kind of reactionary energy, but it can also feel like there's a lot of tightness within your chest and your heart and your lungs. For you in particular, pile 3, there is an energy here about breathing freely, like feeling like you can breathe fresh air, feeling as though you are safe to kind of take a deep breath in and out. So because that is there, in order to really open up this energy, I'm going to ask everyone who is watching pile 3, and you don't have to do this, but it does genuinely help open this energy up if you participate. But can we do some deep breathing techniques here? Just a couple of deep breaths so that the energy kind of opens up a little bit more. So we're going to go in through the nose, hold, and then out through the mouth. Okay, let's do one more. In through the nose and hold. And then release. Okay, that feels a lot better. Okay, so pile 3. This reading is about discovering or rediscovering the magic within you. It's identifying what kind of archetype your inner witch or wizard or warlock really is. And it is a collaboration, and I want to mention this now because I kind of flubbed it up in the intro just because the energies have been kind of high. It's incredibly high vibrational energies, but not quite grounded enough. So this is a beautiful, wonderful, amazing collaboration with Ember Moon Tarot, who is doing your shamanic archetype, and Celtic Fairy Tarot, who is doing your inner fae archetype. And we all wanted to tap into more mystical energies and helping you understand that you contain these parts within yourself. And for you in particular, pile 3, this is in a big way to help you understand that everything that you are and everything that you do is magic. For you, for some of the other piles, I had this energy of like, fear of the outside world or fear of condemnation or judgment or judging oneself. But for your pile in particular, pile 3, it's not so much fear of others, and there's almost a fear of yourself, a fear of your own power, a fear of utilizing your own power or tapping fully into it, as though if you tapped into it, it would change everything about your life. And there's this essence of like, am I ready for my life to change? And sometimes when we understand ourselves and understand the archetype energy that we're carrying, we can understand where those kind of, I'm hearing the word consternations, where those consternations come from. I love it. I love when big words come through. It really makes me excited. The author in me gets all like, yay. All right, pile 3. So let's really get into this. So the first thing is you guys selected the Everyday Spells deck, or pile rather. And so I'm going to show this to you and read it off to you. You can choose to screenshot it if you feel called to it. You don't have to, but it's just going to give a little bit more insight into what it is that you're needing to understand about yourself and your inner magic right now. Yeah. Elemental magic, earth. If you are something of a gardener, you can symbolically plant transformation into your life. Take a handful of beans from your pantry or a seed package and empower them by placing them on your altar during the light of the waning moon. Plant them after you have prayed. I plant these seeds of fortune and change. As they grow, good luck for all will rise and flow. From this soil comes all bounty, as we know. So if you guys feel called to doing that, that's very beautiful. I love that. And in case you are called to that, we did just go through a full moon in Cancer, and we're actually still working through the energies as I'm filming this. So with that energy, we are going to be moving into that waning moon energy, shortly after next week. So it is a great time to take advantage if you are called to that. It's not a requirement. If you don't have an altar space, I'm hearing you can put it in a windowsill somewhere that gets either direct sunlight or direct moonlight or both, depending on, where the location is and what you have noticed. But you can set it there with the intention to absorb either the sun or the moon or both, depending on your choice. and allow for those energies to really infuse the seeds so that when they are planted, even if you're in a winter phase right now, which I'm in the Northern Hemisphere, so we're in winter, you can still plant them in the springtime, and you can pull some of this energy from the Cancerian full moon, which helps with rooting it. It really does, because Cancer rules the fourth house, and the fourth house is traditionally the lowest point in the chart. It is the depths and the core and the lowest point of who we are. It's the absolute depths of our own roots, ancestry, inheritances, our very souls in this world. That would be why it's ruled by the moon. So let's get a look at your archetype and some of the energies you're working with. Okay, so we have the archetype of the kiss, and then we have spirit guide, and transformation. This is the second transformation. It literally says you can symbolically plant transformation into your life. Okay, they want me to pull them all. So we have the card 40, and we have Leo and air energy, and it says positivity with marigold. Okay, and then there's a dream catcher here, which is curious because of the kiss. I'll explain in a minute. And then we have the card 20 with grace. Grace, blessing, come to me and set me free. Okay, so the first thing that I'm getting here about your archetype, with it being the kiss, I get a lot of Venusian energy from you. You may have Aphrodite as one of your archetype, or as one of your spirit guides. Archetypes, interesting. You may have Aphrodite as one of your spirit guides. You may be called to Eros or Cupid as well. You may have a lot of that pull towards, the romantic, the passionate, the love. But not just that. What I'm getting here is, pile 3. What I really am picking up here is that there's this perception of who you have to be in terms of love. And it's really tempered how you have been able to remain positive within your own mindset about being loved as you are. And right now, the energy that you're in with this kiss energy, even though this kiss energy talks a lot about connections with others and love and sharing and cooperation with another person, there's a lot of energy here about how the place that you're at on your journey, and especially the kind of alchemical magic, the witch archetype that you're in right now, is one in which you're transforming that exterior projection of love and sense of self. You're transforming that into learning how to love yourself first and foremost, and then understanding how when you love yourself, you actually move in a much more graceful energy. Now, grace, as we think of grace in a physical form when we think of like ballet dancers. And some of you may have been ballet dancers or are dancers, just because the ballet shoes, I'm seeing ballet shoes in my third eye. But grace is a state of being that we can embody, we can encompass. What it means is we understand that at any given point in time in our lives, we are human. We err, we make mistakes, we step the wrong direction, or we forget the choreography of this dance of life that we're on, and we fumble our steps. And in those moments, we have the choice. Am I going to beat up on myself for, flubbing the steps? Or am I going to say, you know what, I would give grace to another person if they were in my position, so I'm going to give grace to myself. Really what you guys are embodying right now, this archetype, whether it's witch or wizard or warlock, however you view this, it feels very witchy to me. I gotta tell you, this is a different kind of witch, but I love it. It's embodying this sense of love of self and realizing that you're here to help guide yourself at this point in your journey. That's first. The second thing that I wanted to mention is I did get a message for your pile last night. So I filmed half this reading last night because I was really drawn to filming some of the piles at night and some of the piles during the day. I can't explain why, but I imagine you guys will let me know in the comment section below. Yours is one of the ones that I'm filming during the day. However, there was a message that came through last night, and it was about what do you do on a daily basis? And I think this is why that ballet energy keeps coming in, because when you are a prima ballerina, you have to eat a certain way. You have to work out on a consistent basis. You have to, dedicate all of this time and energy and effort into this area of your life. And you have to be comfortable with looking at yourself in the mirror, because if you guys, you can Google this if you haven't ever danced or if you've never been aware of it. But when you do things like ballet or tap or any kind of dance, anything, a dance studio has walls made of mirrors, because you learn best from yourself. You learn best from watching yourself in the mirror and your moves, and you get to self-critique instead of having someone have to be there. Sometimes being a dancer means you understand that while you will be dancing with other people, you are doing a very solo, unique journey on your own. And so it does benefit you to be able to watch yourself, to see where you misstep, to see what you can change. And that's an energy here of recognizing what your routines are, what you do on a day-to-day basis, and what happens when one of those things gets dropped. Does someone else have to point out to you that you didn't do something that should have been a routine, or do you see it and then beat yourself up over it? And I'm getting kind of a split energy. And that brings me back to this kiss energy and how you get to actually choose transformation in your life. So one of the inner magic pieces that you have is literally sowing the seeds of transformation, and you choose how that transformation plays out. It's like you're the gardener of your life. But if you guys remember at the very beginning of this reading, I was struggling a lot with the energies. I was struggling a lot with it right until this elemental magic with earth came out. You guys may be fire and air dominant, which means that you guys are predominantly divine masculine energies. And this is within your natal chart. It doesn't have to be, but I'm actually getting that you guys could be an air rising sign. And this has been coming through a lot, unusually. But that would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius as a rising sign, because that would put air in your fire houses, 1, 5, and 9. Alternately, you could have fire in your air houses. So that would be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius in the 3rd, the 7th, and the 11th houses. Any of those interactions, the reason why I'm picking that up is this positivity card. There's an energy here of your passion and your perception are interwoven so tightly that at any given point in time, if you feel as though your dreams are caught in some sort of dream catcher. And I know this sounds really strange because dream catchers are there to catch nightmares. They're not there to cease or halt positive dreams. But with this dream catcher, what I feel like is it's like you're caught. Sometimes it feels like your highest hopes and dreams get caught in the melee of life. And the more you try to shine out, the harder you get hit back or knocked back. And with Leo energy and the sun here, there's the divine masculine energy that is within you is so strong that it's like, I will just force myself to be positive. I will force myself to have this perspective, but that you can't force a transformation. And that's something that in this phase in your life, I feel like that's your biggest lesson here. You can have a lot of divinely inspired ideas, notions, perceptions. You can have this fiery passion that you are ready to share with the world, feel like you are 100% guided, and that isn't wrong. You're not wrong for that. You do have all of that. However, one of the biggest things that I have learned on my journey is that you have to ground these moments in. And when I'm sorry, I don't know if that was like one of your guys' like energies that came in so specifically, or if it was like a guide, transferring the message, but it was like, well, how the hell do I ground all of this stuff in? Can somebody please tell me how I ground this shit into reality? I get that. That is why this message of the gardener is coming up, why you guys have something like a marigold coming up, because it's about planting the seeds and tending to the garden. So you want to take that and make it metaphorical, and please have more grace with yourself in this journey. It is very hard when you are a fiery, passionate person. It is very hard to be like, okay, how do I ground this into reality instead of being like, let me just blaze forth. Like let me burn my path through this world. I understand that, but this Kiss card, what I pick up from it, and you guys are the first ones that I'm not actually called to read anything from the book too. What I get from this Kiss card is actually more about gentleness. The hands in here to me look more like a father and a child. So this is about understanding that some of the ideas and the notions that you have, it needs more time. You have to nurture them, just like you would nurture a young child. How does a child grow up and become the person that they are? They go through constant, continual transformations of self over the course of they cram in. If you think about growing up, you cram in utter life transformation over and over and over and over and over again until there's no stability and there's no real like grounding of anything within yourself. And so you rely on the people outside of you to gift that to you in those times, because everything that you're going through is like transformation at a rapid pace. So we think in terms of us being an adult, when we are healing a wound that takes us, a year to heal, we are accelerating the healing process if we only take a year. I've been healing wounds for, a decade, if not longer, for some of the things in my life, because healing takes time. It's not linear. It's a cycle. It's a circle. We move through it, but it's about holding your own hand through that, giving yourself love, giving yourself grace. And that's a big reason why Venusian energy and Aphrodite energy and Cupid energy comes in. Something that not a lot of people know is Venus and Eros, or Cupid, are mother and son. They aren't equals necessarily. They are mother and son. So this is, if you look at it that way, Venus is who we look to in our charts for how we love, how we perceive love, how we value love and beauty and art and ourselves. And then Eros in our charts is where this is expressed in romantic terms. So Eros, as the child, took one area of the lessons of his mother and the energy of his mother, and he took all of that and he chose his area. So there's a lot here about giving yourself more grace to become the prima ballerina, to become the perfection that you want to be without breaking yourself down constantly to be perfect. How you ground everything into reality is that you allow yourself breaks from your passions. And I know that sounds kind of oppositional, but when you allow yourself to take breaks, to be in your body, to be human, to eat a meal, to watch a TV show, to watch a movie, to connect with another person. When you give yourself that, it's gifting yourself that. You're giving yourself grace so that you can flow more freely, more easily. In the past, when I would film these readings, I would sit down for an entire day and I would be at it. I would be filming, I would be channeling. And I did that for months on end. And I didn't realize how much of a toll I was taking on my own shoulders until my body kind of went, no, you need a break. And that's why I've slowed down a lot. You have this beautiful ability to understand the waxing and the waning of your own cycles and energies, to understand that transformation takes time and that it's up to you to blaze your path. But where you're at right now, your archetypal energy is one that wants to guide others. But first, you must guide yourself. And that is one of the biggest things that you need to seed into where you're at. So the magic that you have is you have the ability to literally transform anything, to make your dreams come true, to understand the nature of grace and blessings and beauty and art and progress, a lot of progress. But when you're struggling to ground yourself, that's when I see this positivity card, it almost wants to be like that, because it kind of has this wavering, quavering energy, like it wants to go back and forth and up and down. And your guides want you to keep it up. Your guides want, so now I'm hearing Rex Orange County with keep it up and go on. That has been repeating a lot for me personally. So I never know whether it's personally, but when I say keep it up, that's what I heard. So there's essentially, you guys are going through a sacral chakra cleansing and transformation right now. And when you do that, that's a deep emotional cleansing and transformation. And that really does require a lot of grace for yourself. You guys have this beautiful magic within you. Again, okay, so we have the 9 of Pentacles and we've got Virgo energy, which is again, that very earth energy, but we've got Virgo and Venus. And it says gain on here. And then the Empress came out. And look, that's Lily holding Harry. This is powerful energy. And the Empress is actually the card of Venus in the major arcana. So the thing about this particular 9 of Pentacles card, because we're working with the Harry Potter Tarot, and I'm going to move it up here so you guys can see, is this is what's called the room of requirement. So in normal times, that is nothing more or less than the same as the wall around it. But when someone at the school is in need, they know where this wall is, they walk by the wall 3 times, focusing intently on what it is that they need. And a door will appear, and on the other side of that door will be whatever it is that they need. So when you get too much in your head about, I need to do this and this and this, and I've got this great idea and this grand plan and adventure and all of that, focus on what you need right now. That is an excellent way to ground that passion, that beauty, that artistry that you have, that magic that you have within, to ground it into the physical. You guys may resonate with being a hedge witch, a green witch, or alternately an eclectic witch. And even though there's a lot of Venusian and Aphrodite energy here, there's a lot of love energy. I'm actually picking up a lot of, wow. I'm picking up like a lot of pushback and resistance towards anything having to do with like love spells or love work or anything like that. This is much more focused on the self. And sometimes with Venus and Virgo, we can have this tendency to hyperanalyze the things that we believe love is supposed to be, or art is supposed to be, or beauty is supposed to be. Like, we can hyperanalyze ourselves. And that comes back to that mirror. You have to be comfortable seeing yourself in the mirror and critiquing yourself without being hard on yourself, knowing how to love yourself and be positive about yourself as you move forward. And Venus in Virgo can be incredibly hypercritical. And if they don't give that out to others, they can very easily turn that on themselves. So there's just so much Venusian energy with you guys. You may want to consider working more with divine feminine energy. You may be going through a divine feminine awakening. If you are having a divine feminine awakening and you're feeling like what you perceive to be toxic traits, like anger, rage, like you guys must be dancers, because I think I've seen Dirty Dancing maybe once in my life, but I literally just heard Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner. And that's kind of that energy that comes first with coming into your divine feminine energy more fully. There's the dark divine feminine, because she needs to purge a lot. You may have Black Moon Lilith in weird. You may have Black Moon Lilith in Leo or Aquarius. You may have Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio or Sagittarius. I literally just heard in Rome. Okay, I'm just going to give that message. I don't understand it whatsoever. That's why I kind of fought against it, because I was like, wait, what? I heard you may have your Black Moon Lilith in your Roman house. To tell you guys the truth, I've done a lot of astrological studying. I don't necessarily know what that means. However, I could say from my perspective of what a Roman house would be, it would be the house that Mars rules. So that would be that scorpionic energy, because we would be looking at Hellenistic times. So Mars ruled both Aries and Scorpio in Hellenistic times. But that would be your first or your eighth house. You could have Black Moon Lilith in either of those houses or in Aries or Scorpio. Alternately, your Black Moon Lilith could be conjuncting your Mars, because if I think of anything Roman when it comes to astrological anything, my number one is Mars, because Mars is literally the father of the Roman people. So this is about recognizing what it is that you need. We're going to come back to the cards now. Recognizing what it is that you need and focusing on that. There's something here about repetition, and my husband and I teach our kids all the time, repetition is the key to learning. And then there are times where I will go through something and he'll remind me, honey, repetition is the key to learning, because I'll get to a point where I can't do any kind of positive self-talk, where I'm like, no, when is this going to end? I can't do this again. I can't repeat this cycle again. And he and I have both studied, law of attraction and word usage enough to know that I'm not at my best self during those times, and I'm not aiding in the transformation during those times. And he'll be like, you have to see it this way. Remember this way. And it's that, that repetition is the key to learning. So you go through a cycle as many times as you need to go through it until you learn the lesson. And if you've learned the lesson, then you're the only one that knows whether or not you're going to be going through that cycle again, so that if any of the same things appear in that cycle, you know not to. So one of the best ways that you can ground what you have in, like, your passions, your inspirations, one of the ways that you can ground that is by focusing very intently on what you need for one of them in this world. What do you need for it? If you have some brilliant idea when it comes to a new dance style, you want to combine this, and this into one singular dance style. If you have that inspiration, how can you do that? Do you know what all the styles are? If you know how to combine them in the physical form, how do you do it on the mental plane now? Now, how do you do it on the expressive and the passionate plane. So the fiery plane, you take all of those and you ground that down so that your emotions don't get overwhelmed by you trying to do this. Yeah. Prince of Cups, which is literally my passion card. And on the back, we have the 5 of Wands with conflict. Interesting. Again, we've got Leo energy. Leo energy, the Emperor, and the 2 of Swords with equilibrium. Okay, so this is really about you. It's okay. I talk about this a lot on my channel about divine feminine and divine masculine energy. Part of your inner magic that is starting to awaken. And I feel like this is awakening in a way that you're not used to. What's awakening is what you need is going to appear almost as if magically. Like you're going to focus, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And then the door appears and you walk through the door and there it is. The Empress is the card of fertility, creativity. She grounds everything that she intends on creating into the physical world. Lily Potter had all this love and a very strong protective nature because she's the mother. So you could also alternately have Venus in Cancer. But she protected her son at all costs. And the one thing about that is even after she died, her protection stayed. It's about knowing the power that you have in something. You have a specific power here. It's different for each one of you, but it definitely has, and I want to say it has to do with dance of some sort, but it doesn't have to be physical dance. When I look at the planets and the stars and the cosmos and the moon and this, all of that, when I look up there and I look at the transits, to me, I am looking at this beautiful, like divine choreography. And I'm always just trying to figure out the steps and how I play into them and how I can help others learn how they play into it. That's how I work with astrology. What is it in your life that you look at and you think of it in terms of something that transcendent, that beautiful? If you don't think of dance in that way, what do you think of? Is it music? Is it, I just heard just artistry in general. Like sometimes you can get lost on Instagram watching people create, do these paintings. They make it seem so simple. And it's this beautiful, this beautiful thing to witness. What vision do you have that you're eager to bring forth? So the reason why all of that came up is because once you recognize that, once you are open to receiving whatever it is, this gain that you need, you know what it is, you need to open yourself up to receiving it, to stepping through the door of knowing it will come in, knowing your power in drawing it in. And once you do that, from that point forth, you are able to direct your divine masculine energy to move from the heart. But there, with that sacral chakra healing that I'm feeling, it's a purge, and there's a chance for you to do this in a more holistic and total way so that you don't have to plant individual seeds of transformation and go through it like a child has to. It's learning how to adapt, how to meld, how to grow, how to gain from what has transpired in order to have more grace and move more gracefully through your life. Yeah, we've got 48 with obedience. 48 reduces to 12, which reduces to 3. That's Hanged Man and Empress energy. Again, with Venusian energy, and the obedience card in and of itself has a nod to Themis and balance and harmony, and the Justice card, as well as Libra energy. And Libra energy is really strong right now because the nodes are going to be shifting into Libra soon. But this is, again, Venus rules Libra. So this is about, when this was another message that came in for you guys, not just about what you do on a day-to-day basis, but when the scales are being rebalanced, sometimes it feels like our life is utterly out of balance all of a sudden, as though we've been operating in a balanced state and then everything is out of balance. But what the truth is that we've been operating out of a state of embodying balance and moving from that place. And we've been putting forth all of that intentional energy out into the world. That's divine masculine energy. And that has to be rebalanced. If we don't spend enough time with ourselves, then there's this rebalancing that has to occur that feels as though we're out of balance. But if you stop looking with your physical eyes and start feeling with your heart and allowing for yourself to be guided, you'll see that everything moves and flows in its own cycles and balance. And even your life right now, even if it looks out of balance, in a transformational time, rebalancing looks as though it is imbalanced, when in reality, it was imbalanced and it's coming back to harmony, back to equilibrium. Yeah, we've got 45 with message. And on the back, we have 13 with summon. So this is about, the message that you have to share with the world. Number one, with this summon card, it again talks about rituals. It talks about you summoning your power, but doing it regularly. So this message that you have to share with the world is something that you have to really be in your power for. And that can be hard when you feel like you're out of balance. But there's so much here of hope and positivity, hope and love, hope and faith, understanding that you're not naive for thinking that this is how it's going to go. What's awakening within you, this archetypal energy that's awakening within you, is a much more gentle energy than you've been operating out of. And sometimes the divine masculine can feel threatened by that. It's up to you and your inner divine feminine to really nurture the divine masculine so he doesn't go the wrong direction. Just like Draco Malfoy went the wrong direction in life because he wasn't nurtured enough to know that he had that kind of independence. Your divine masculine needs more nurturance right now. And you are the one that is meant to nurture yourself. That way, that deep message that you have, that wise message that you have for the world about balance, about harmony, about whatever it is, about love, about grace, about peace, about flow, whatever it is, you can share that message with the world from a much more balanced place. Thank you. And again, look, we have 6, Bluebell Fairy with gratitude. Okay, so this is another message that they want you to hold on to, feeling gratitude for your gifts, for your voice, for your growth, for the chance to have a voice in the world. Sometimes when we feel like everything has suddenly been knocked off kilter, we forget that gratitude is the fastest way to transform. Yeah, Raven, Spirit, and Truth. And we have 2 ravens here. So you guys may be seeing a lot of ravens or crows. They may be a spirit animal of yours. On the back, we have Crystal Cave and Trust. And now we do have the card number 9. All right. I don't see any excessive repeating numbers for you. 3, 6, 9 may be significant. You may be coming from another pile. You may be drawn to another pile. If that's the case, for those of you who resonate with I came from another pile, or there was another pile, but I didn't go to that other pile, this is the sun energy. This is the masculine energy. And the other one was far more the moon energy and the divine feminine energy. Because there's that difference. It's about balancing them out. When I look at Crystal Cave, there's a lot that's being called for you to trust at this given stage in your journey, because what's awakening within you, this magic that's awakening within you, the witch archetype that's awakening within you, is a deeply loving part of your soul. And in the world that we live in, there are going to be people that you may come across on your journey that will try to use that and hurt you hurt that part of you, not hurt you because of it, but hurt that part of you because they don't understand that they contain that within themselves. And those are hard lessons to learn. But if you can learn that there is a balancing for everything, and you, when it comes to obedience, all you're being called to do right now is move in a state of trusting yourself, your own truth, and the messages and the inspirations that you're here to bring, moving in a state of grace, having gratitude for everything. That's how you really summon that power and move yourself away from the conflict, realizing that you don't have to fight that hard for anything. When it comes to conflict, you could have Saturn in Leo as well. Or you could have Saturn in Aquarius and be going through a Saturn return, which is playing off of, fears of expressing oneself and the ramifications of that. I actually experienced a lot of that awareness when I wrote Saturn's retrograde guidebook last year. That was the primary focus, was learning how to speak truth into the world. It's really important for you to learn how to trust yourself in your own inner cave, your own inner guidance, understanding what is coming forth, knowing that you have this power within you and that power persists no matter what happens in the outside world. And one final message from your guides, they're like, we want to tell this at the end. They want you to know right now where you're at, you are surrounded by dream catchers. So no one else's dreams can get in to confuse you. No one else's bad energy. It's almost like you're surrounded by this net of love from your guides right now, so that you can go through this transformation, so you can move into this energy and feel safe to do so. Pile 3, I'm amazed by you. Your energy is beautiful. Thank you so much for opening it to me and to these messages, but also just for being in existence and in the world. Thank you. All right, Pile 3, I want to say thank you so much as well to Celtic Fairy Tarot and to Ember Moon Tarot for this collaboration. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, go check their readings out. They are incredible, insightful, and incredibly wise and empathetic souls, and they're just so good at what they do, and I'm just honored to do this reading with them. So their links are in the description box as well as the comment section below. And Pile 3, if this resonated, a really great way to exchange equal energy for what I put forth into these readings is to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, comment in the comment section below. Interaction with the channel and with the messages really does help with the algorithm for everything. And it is truly an equal energy exchange, and I am ever so grateful for it. All that being said, if you guys check the description box, there are other links, but please make sure that you go check out the other readers first. All right, you guys, I love you all. Thank you again for being here, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, Pile 4. So before we begin, let's clear this energy. I'm going to clear this space up. I want you to clear your mind. Allow for an openness. If you missed the intro, this is about your inner magic, your inner witch archetype. Could be witch, could be wizard, could be warlock. How you choose to define it is absolutely acceptable. There's no wrong answer to this. This is a collaboration with Ember Moon Tarot and Celtic Fairy Tarot. Ember is focusing on your shamanic archetype, and Celtic Fairy Tarot is focusing on your Fae archetype. Every time we look at an archetypal reading, it is about the energy you're in, the energy that you are capable of harnessing, the energy that is awakening within you. Pile 4. The first thing that I get from your energy is ancestors. There is deep wisdom awakening within you from your ancestors. a foundational shift, a foundational belief system change, a foundational shift in thought patterns, energy, awareness. And I do want to preface this with, I'm filming this on a Sunday evening. So if you guys can hear any noise, Cooper just got home from his father's. If you're new to my channel, Cooper is my son. He does some readings here with us as well. And Eliza is also here. And she also does readings with me. She is my daughter. And my husband's in the kitchen doing the dishes because he's absolutely incredible. And I did feel deeply called to run the Palo Santo a second time for you guys. And it isn't so much, with Palo Santo, there's multiple uses you can use them for. One of which is clearing the energy and protection. I did not feel called to do any kind of clearing or protection for the second time. The second time felt like it was an uplift, like a facelift for your energy. Less vain is what I heard. I like your ancestors. So pile 4, this reading is being filmed at the tail end of the full moon in Cancer's energy. With this particular pile, this is the first pile I feel grounded naturally in. I don't feel like I am struggling to maintain my grounding by moving with the energy. However, I can feel that your energy is very open to the higher realms. There's a very beautiful balance here between your body, your mind, and your soul. And if you don't feel as though that is the state you're in currently, this is what is awakening within you. So you chose the card of altar spells, the 4th pile. And I'm going to read this for you. You can choose to use it or not. It's totally up to you. You don't have to. It's not a requirement. This is the Practical Witches deck. I use very minimal spells out of this deck, but they do have some great energy opening ones for gratitude, for seeing the blessings in life, and for working with different phases of the moon and everything like that. So please use your highest level of discernment, but I don't feel like I need to tell you guys that. Most of the time when I am interacting with my pile 4s, you guys are my closest soul family energy. And so I do know you guys do operate out of high levels of conscious awareness and high levels of discernment. But the disclaimer needs to be there whenever we're working with spells. So we have Thor's Day spell. If you find yourself in need of help resolving a problem or uncovering new resources within yourself, try the following. On a Thursday, light some blue candles and chant the following affirmation. Fears and doubt be gone from me. I have the courage to break free. I have the wisdom to know and the strength to grow. I call upon my inner guide to hear and see my truth. Blessed be. Repeat this 4 times while the candle burns. Embrace your intuition and trust it with all your heart. Now, the beautiful thing is this is actually premiering on a Wednesday. So if you do feel called to that spell, tomorrow is Thursday. So what a beautiful moment in time for this to come forth. It's very simple. If you do not have a blue candle, if you have, say, just like simple white candles like we have here, a good way of working with that and representing blue energy would be using blue crystals, lapis lazuli, sodalite, blue kyanite, anything of that nature. Blue apatite would be really good. Larimar would be a wonderful stone for you in this situation. Get that really watery blue. Alternately, what I'm being shown is you can put, if you have these tiny little tea candles, you can actually put them in a tea candle holder, like one of the water holders, and fill it with water. And if you, I don't know if somebody here has fish, but if you've got like the glass beads that go on the bottom of a fish tank that are blue. You can put those at the bottom as well. Sometimes, following it to the letter is really called for, especially when you're doing these more intensive spells. But in situations like this, the representation of the color blue, and even picking something for what it means to you. So blue is both the throat chakra as well as the third eye chakra, different levels of blue, because indigo is kind of like bluish purple, but there are different levels of blue. So it's kind of blending that intuition with speaking your truth into the world, coming back to self and really working with that and allowing for that to be there. Now with Thor coming up and it being Thursday, and especially with the fact that this week is very, very powerful and potent when it comes to Nordic gods and goddesses, those Norse deities, because we do have a Friday the 13th, and that is Freya's day. That is why it's called Friday. It's Freya, but 13 was very significant for her. It was her number. And so any Friday the 13th is her day, but Friday the 13th, or rather the number 13, is also deeply associated with Loki, especially with all of the trickery that Loki gets into and the way that we perceive Friday the 13th. And now I'm getting like Stephen King and one of my favorite phobias. I don't have the phobia, but I like to say the name of it because it sounds like you're afraid of Triscuit crackers, is triskaidekaphobia. It's a fear of the number 13. And it's actually something that people associate with Stephen King because he got hit by a car on Friday the 13th. And so he has developed a phobia of Friday the 13th. But regardless, some of you may have ancestry that goes back to Scandinavian roots. So you're looking in the area of Norway, Sweden, Holland, the Netherlands. Let's see. I know I'm missing more. I'm bad Scandinavian. Give me just a moment. Oh. I apologize, guys. Willow's doing that whiny thing with the whole let me out, I want to find my best friend, because Jade is outside. So when we're working with any kind of archetypes, when it comes to which archetypes, and for this energy in specific, you may want to look up, I want to say it's pronounced cider, and vulva. So SEIDR and VULVA. Those are two different types of shamanic witches in Norse history. Historically speaking, these are deeply rooted into Norse mythology. The Prose Edda has a lot of allusions to some of this energy. And they are equally, from my studies, they are equally headed by Freya and Odin, one on each side. Now, Satyr, I believe, is headed by Odin, whereas Vulva is seen as Freya. But they both kind of work together because Freya did teach Odin a lot of what she knew. And so there is a lot of energy here that has to do with kind of blending different traditions. With that being said, I definitely can feel this pile especially, and how interconnected it is with both Alyssa with Celtic Fairy Tarot and Ember with Ember Moon Tarot, how they are so deeply connected and intertwined together. Because, Alyssa, one of her guides that she speaks about a lot is Odin, and she is well versed and talks a lot about her Nordic ancestry, and Ember is a natural shaman. She's so deeply gifted in modern shamanic techniques and methods of healing, more than I think she realizes, but that's my personal opinion as her best friend. And it's kind of blending those energies together and realizing that when you come to readings such as these, the reason why you find resonance with all of them is because parts of you are each and every one of them. And with you in particular, pile 4, you have the most rational energy while being the most mystical. Simultaneously, you are the conundrum. You're the riddle. You are the walking paradox. And in the past, that may have been a difficulty for you. And I think that's why this Thursday spell has come up. And with it being an altar spell, whenever I touch the altar spells, it feels very traditional. It feels, that energy of like, it makes you stand up straight. It makes you, elongate your neck and straighten your spine and square your shoulders. It's a respect energy. When we say these things in, like slang or whatever, like the metaphorical verbiage that we use, we're using these words and these phrasings because it's about saying this is how commanding of respect your energy is. It makes me sit up tall. It makes me square my shoulders. It aligns my energy because I can't come to your energy and be playing around. I can't come to your energy. You have the kind of energy where you're like the serious version of Loki. You're like, if I want to mess around, I'll mess around. But if you want to mess around, you're going to find out what it's like. It's this understanding of limitations, boundaries, and why you do certain things that other people perceive as trickery. And there's a lot of Loki energy here. And I actually had Loki approach me energetically a few months ago. And I sat down with my husband and I was like, I have all the signs, all the synchronicities, but here's my problem. I was at a point where I was like, I don't want the chaos. I don't know that I'm prepared for the chaos. And it was one of those where I had to really sit down with my guides and be like, maybe not right now. And now I understand why, because it was this awareness that he was going to be entering for readings here and there for people I would be reading for. And it's really quite beautiful. Give me just a moment, guys. We've got Willow kind of whining. Okay, guys. So you could be my Cancer Sun, Moon Risings, Sagittarius Sun, Moon Risings. I'm just using Willow as my intuitive prompting. She did want to go outside, and usually that is her usual reaction to Cancer Rising energy, where she wants to go outside and be kind of like the protector of the area. I get that a lot with Cancerian Rising energy when I'm doing those readings. So with all that said, shift of direction, a shift of perception. Have you guys recently felt as though you're on a path that's unwinding, but it almost feels like you're on two paths at once? One or the other, but you don't realize that you're meant to blend them together. Mm-hmm. I'm watching the smoke from the incense, and it's speaking some interesting things. I really love incorporating this into my readings lately. I don't have any traditional training on reading smoke. I'm just literally letting it show me what it wants to show me and just kind of letting it flow with that. It's one of those new things that's been awakening within me. This whole beginning of 2023, even though I don't celebrate the changing of the calendar year, we're going to say it's just Capricorn season in and of itself, has been a powerhouse season in my life. My gifts have changed. Everything in my life has kind of been topsy-turvy and changed, but it's really given me time to take care of myself. And that is a lot of low-key energy as well. So let's find out what archetype you're in. Oh, I'm not surprised. We have the Castle, and then we have well-being. Yes, this would be why I felt really drawn to talk to you about how my Capricorn season has been, because Capricorn rules my 6th house in my natal chart. And because of that, with the sixth house, there is a high level of focus on the well-being. So this is why I say you guys are my pile that just seems to align so closely with my life. And we have boundaries. Yeah. Absolutely. And this really does have that Freya energy to me. This card always screams Freya to me. And then we have, oh my gosh, duality. You guys, I'm not even joking. The caduceus here, that is literally what the smoke looked like from the incense. Holy cow, we've got duality with the water element and banana. And there is no zodiac on here, but with the caduceus, that's depending on what you perceive and believe, that is either Mercury. I'm going to move this off to this side. It feels like it needs to be by the smoke. Mercury energy, or Ophiuchus, which is the 13th zodiac sign. And Ophiuchus actually falls between Scorpio and Sagittarius, I believe. Yeah, it splits Scorpio and Sagittarius. And then we have 19 with inspiration. Isis, goddess of magic, I ask thee to bring your inspiration to me. You guys may have been drawn to another pile. And you know what? The funny thing is I almost called you a different pile when I started this reading. And I was like, I better check myself right before I say that. But I was picking up kind of similar energies. If you weren't drawn to another pile, don't be alarmed. It doesn't mean that you are at the wrong pile or anything like that. It just means that there's some resonance with it that I'm picking up. So we've got a 43 here. With a 43, that reduces down to 7. This is a 7-year on the calendar, but I'm noticing that you have a 7 and then a 9 and a 10. And with that, it is telling me that in a lot of ways, this year is going to be about working on seeking, receiving the wisdom from the knowledge gained from different experiences, the closing of doors, and how you can take all of these different experiences that you've had and blend them together into an emotional healing of your divine masculine energy and moving forward from the heart to inspire the world. But let's read about this Castle card first. And sometimes with these cards, I just really love what the book says. Kim Krantz is one of the best creators of decks. I have all of hers. I love her work. So it says the castle, the palace, the penthouse, the fortress. It's no wonder fairy tales tell of sleeping princesses within castle walls. Like most archetypes, the castle is loaded with duality. Oh my God. It represents abundant riches, seductive fantasy, ornate wonders, and lavish adornments, yet the walls are thick, cold, and shadowy. This card points to a tendency to hold on to possessions, quite possibly a literal home or position, that project the image of achievement, while the soul longs to run barefoot in the forest, leaving it all behind. At times we must settle down, yet the castle lulls us with its spell of materialism, and we fall asleep to our deepest dreams. The castle can be a motivating force, an enchanting goal to travel toward, but it is best not to linger within its walls of decadent deception for too long. When light, you're visiting your throne of power. When dark, you have a sense of stuckness, depression, spells, walls. And it says, notice how castles are designed to keep things out. They defend, they separate. It is likely there is connection and community beyond its walls that will revitalize you. Okay, so the number one thing about this is duality. And then the message that I got from the incense, which is 2 paths. The energy that I talked about with the way that your energy commands respect. It is an energy of presence, physical presence. It was a very military vibe that I was getting from it. I didn't say it, but I felt it. So if some of you are veterans, former military, in the military currently, take that as your confirmation. But that's the energy that it carries with. Now, when you have that energy, if you think about a knight in back during, say, King Arthur times, knights wore a lot of chainmail and steel armor, and all of that was to keep the enemy's weapons out. But when saying goodbye to their loved ones, there was no actual physical contact if they were in their armor, if you think about it that way. So in a lot of ways, this is talking about what is best for your well-being and what is best for your healing. Your divine masculine is going through a softening process in which your divine feminine is teaching your divine masculine what boundaries are. Boundaries are not fortification. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are not armor. Boundaries are open, flowing, easy, but they are set in stone. They can't be seen, but they are essentially the castle wall surrounded by a moat. People have to literally swim across it. And because your boundaries are that castle wall, you can see people swimming across them. So you already know. So moving forward, you don't have to feel as though you have to please everyone in order to please yourself, because you're looking out for the well-being of yourself. And when you embody that, then you look out for the well-being of everyone else. This is an archetype of understanding, an archetype of awareness, an archetype of unity, uniformity, conformity, but not exteriorly, interiorly. It's like you have a tiny little military commander inside of you that is like, okay, everybody needs to fall in line. This is your place. This is your place. This is your place. Now, the reason why we all have our own places is because we all are meant to work together in order to make a well-oiled machine. And that's your interior pieces, your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body, your spiritual body, your divine masculine, your divine feminine, your inner child. All of these different pieces of you all have their different roles to play, and they're not meant to play anybody else's roles. And when one encroaches on the other, then it feels as though we're splitting in two. Then we're stuck in this state of choosing one way or the other because we have two warring factions within ourselves. You're someone who is coming into, for most of you, you are in this energy now. But for some of you here, you are coming into the archetype of conformity and uniformity within yourself, in which everybody understands there is one primary purpose here, which is soul growth and expansion. And each part of you is falling in line, so to speak, and moving in the way that is absolutely best for you, your healing and your well-being, because you're here to share something that will inspire others to find this within themselves. We use the words conformity and uniformity out in modern society, and they are such negative connotation words. But if we think about the ways in which we can bring these elements inside of ourselves, kind of not focusing at all on the outer world, but focusing entirely on the inner world and saying, okay, I need to bring all of my pieces into this understanding, this balance, this harmony. You become a walking embodiment of the rainbow. And what is the rainbow other than all the colors all at once? And when I say rainbow, I don't mean that traditional 7 colors. I mean all the colors in creation, all the colors we don't even have names for. You become both light and dark, white and black, moving in flow and in flux with each other. That's why you're surrounded by these pearls. You have pearls of wisdom. You're no longer hiding behind walls and barricades and barriers. You are surrounding yourself with pearls of wisdom. Those are your boundary lines. If someone tries to come at you with some sort of ill-conceived notions, is what I'm hearing, or wilted offerings, because I'm looking at this flower and it's very vibrant. Wilted offerings, you see it for what it is now. Why? Because you have learned what it's like to be blocked off. And when you're blocked off, you're actually more vulnerable. And not in a good way. You're vulnerable in a way where someone can get behind the wall because you become so lonely. But this is about connection. Connection to the self brings connection to others. Freya spent so much of her time seeking to find her husband. doing what it took out of a state of love. Why? Because connections matter. Yeah, it can be scary. Yeah, you can get hurt. Guys, I mean, if you watched my short announcement at the end of 2022, you know, I myself got hurt by a connection. It was a deep, deep, abiding pain, but it taught me a lot. And we can choose in those moments to build a castle, build a wall around ourselves and call it a boundary. Or we can say, this is my worth, this is my value, and this is my wisdom that I have gained from the experience, from this knowledge. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to surround myself with it. And this is my boundary. My wisdom is my boundary. My well-being is my boundary. My worth is my boundary. And use that to inspire yourself to step further into your magic, to step further into yourself. So we have the Princess of Cups. Yes, this is my like when pigs fly card. I love it. The Magus. And again, this is mercurial energy because it's the Magician. And then we have the Hermit. I love this. And on the back, we have the Seven of Wands with bravery. Mars and Leo. You know, Leo energy has been really strong lately. And I think that's because with Saturn in Aquarius and getting ready to leave Aquarius, there's a hyper emphasis on both Aquarius and Leo energy right now. And the reason for that is to help us understand the axis better, because he's not going to be working with this axis for another, I want to say 20 years or so, give or take. But we have a lot of mercurial energy here. We've got Virgo energy, Leo energy, and I want to say it's Cancer energy with the Princess of Cups. Cancerian? I do not know. Regardless, this is about what you believe is possible and impossible. But it's more than that. It's what the world believes is possible and impossible. The archetype of the castle for you is about seeing how you have these dreams, these wishes, these goals. And perhaps in the past, the split was the rational part of you did not allow for what was perceived as irrationality, which would be daydreaming, imagination, belief, faith, hope, inspiration, intuition, creativity. Moving forward, you're learning how to communicate these things, but you're communicating them from the depths of your heart and your soul. With this Hermit card, I'm not actually getting an inner journey at all. I'm actually getting this lesson of, you know, things that hurt us in the past. When we learn how to teach from that state instead of teach from the wounded state, that's when we learn how to be brave and bold in who we are. Snape stayed behind the scenes his entire life, always in a state of hurt, but he turned that hurt into an inspirational storyline. Snape is one of the best character arcs in the entirety of Harry Potter because he was so good at allowing himself to be seen as the bad guy. Why? Because he was always hyper aware of the pain that he went through. That hyper awareness of the pain that he went through meant that he understood how people operated out of pain. So when he chose to go against the people harming others in order to walk the true and narrow path, he actually had to cross enemy lines a lot of the time and still put on the front. So what it required was a lot of mental boundaries, personal boundaries, knowing what his limitations were in this way and knowing what his well-being was, knowing how to be brave and bold and move forward, even if it was controversial for him to do so, even if it risked his life. I'm not saying that anything that you want to do is risking your life, but it can feel that way. It can feel that way when you're living controversially, when you're behind enemy lines, when you're interacting with people that you know are not for your highest good or others, when you have to work with those energies in order to learn and grow and change, in order to be better and to help others in a better way than what you're experiencing. It's about how you utilize it versus how it has been utilized against you in a way. So what this is really talking about is it's time to come back to your heart and your own personal power out of the guise of whoever it was that you were behind enemy lines with. Guys, I've been there before. It's never easy. And for those of you who resonate with that, when you come out of it, it makes you question, should I have been different? You went in there as yourself. There was no being different. So what does my pile 4 need to know about this magic within them? We have the card 12 with conclusion. It is the end of this chapter. And then 23 with listening and Cremisha, and 16 with invisible. Oh, I love that. And 47 with individuality and Zoe. Again, I'm struck by the fact that your guys' energy is very similar to another pile. Similar messages and cards, but some of it is still different. But with this Cremisha card, I actually messaged Alyssa and Ember prior to us sitting down to film these. And I had pulled collective cards about what was going on during the Cancer full moon and some of the energies and what we were working with. And I actually ended up quoting what is on this card. And it says, darkness does not always equate to light or to evil, and light does not always bring good. And Cremisha, she used to write poetry and never realized that as she was doing that, what she was writing was actually her channeling Nyx, the goddess. So what I'm getting from this is there is a conclusion, an ending here of you not trusting in what you're hearing from the unseen realms. It's like, you can tell me that I'm wrong because you can't see, hear, or taste or touch exactly what it is that I'm saying. You can try that, like, go ahead and say these things. However, I trust in this, and it doesn't matter whether I can see them or not. I know what I feel, what I hear, and I'm not going to stay invisible for my entire life. I'm stepping into my authenticity, my individuality, and I'm doing this in a way where I know my boundaries, but I'm not going to feel like I have to do this alone. That's the core, the purity of individuality. When you understand that individuality and individuation is nothing more or less than a tool for us to step into our own personal power, because we are part of the whole and we matter to the whole. And because we matter to the whole, we have to be whole within ourselves and then come forth in that manner out into the world. When we do that, that makes a huge difference. You guys could be a life path 7. You could be going through a crown chakra expansion, not awakening. I feel like you guys are my deeply awakened pile, but 7s may be a significant number. You could be born in July or on the 7th, what have you, but there's just a lot of 7s, 27, 7, 47, 16 reduces to a 7, 43 reduces to a 7. We just have a lot of 7s out here that are just really popping out at me. Odd numbers are also popping out at me. And you guys could feel as though you're the odd one out, but you're not. I heard you're not. Yeah, Foggy Bog and Patience, the card 18, another 9 as well. Yeah, and that's another closure energy. So things have perhaps seemed quite foggy, quite cloudy, quite elusive. And with that, there's a solitary figure here. So yeah, when you're in the midst of, inner fog, external fog, whatever it is, it can be a lot easier to put boundaries up, or to put walls up rather than boundaries, to put walls up. What you're learning is how to put boundaries up and be very patient with yourself as this chapter comes to an end, as this conclusion comes to an end. With the 12, I'm also being brought back to the Hanged Man and Odin. And I put a post up on my community page that I had channeled on, I want to say it was January 2nd, about the nature of endings and conclusions, and how it's actually through the Hanged Man that we close a cycle. Just like this card is, the number 12 is a conclusion. And then we have 25, another 7, Moonlight, Enchantment, and Magic. See, you guys are coming into an energy of greater awareness of your magic. This full moon in Cancer that we are just on the other side of may have been incredibly significant for awakening to a different kind of magic. But during that, it could have felt quite confusing, quite cloudy. And I got to tell you guys, I felt the same way. Heightened emotions and everything like that. But when you really surrender to the ways in which magic flows through you and allow yourself to really step into that, to get curious about it and explore it in a way where you think of the ways that, you know, explorers would leave the castle and go on these grand adventures and they'd always come home. The castle is always going to be your home, but it doesn't mean that you're not meant for a grand adventure. And on the back, we have Spirit Guardian of Summer with expansion and 37. So we've got 10s, 9s, like 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, and then 11. This is about, and another 9. So honestly, guys, this is about if you have been seeking closure in something in order to step further into your power, your energy, your magic, your purpose, your direction, if you've been incredibly patient, if you're learning magic or you're patient with your magic awakening and expanding, this is all very, very powerful confirmation. You have done everything that you were meant to do. Even when it felt like you were behind enemy lines and, you know, kind of sacrificing your own goodness and what was right for you for a while there. What it was doing was teaching you more about your own magic. And those times are really hard. And especially when our minds are telling us, you know, this is bad. Oh my gosh, guys, it's literally 7:07 on the clock right now. When our minds are like, oh no, you're behaving poorly, you're behaving badly, you're doing this the wrong way, whatever, what have you, we can get caught up in that. And we can fail to see that what we're doing is something that maybe we didn't even understand when we got ourselves into it. But our higher selves always knows. Our intuition always knows. And so this is, again, I'm being brought back to this Thursday spell card and being called back to getting in touch with your own magic and your own intuition, your own individuality. You've been very patient as your magic has come alive within you. Very diligent about these things. What you're moving forward in with this archetypal energy, whether you define it as a witch or not, you are an ancestral witch. You have deep connections and roots with the Nords, with ancient Egypt, perhaps. But I definitely get you guys maybe cycle breakers, pattern healers, that kind of energy, but you also may work with the sabbats, the equinoxes, the solstices, you know, Imbolc, Lammas, Beltane Ostara, those kind of things, the 8 sabbats of the year, because it helps you stay in the natural cycles of the natural world, which helps ground you. If you don't, that's an energy coming through with this expansion and well-being. But as you go through this expansion, it also can feel very scary. You're stepping further into your individuality, and this is a very beautiful thing. Don't be discouraged if other people don't understand you, because they're still picking up on some sense of duality within you, because you are a walking dualistic being. But remember that you know what you contain within yourself, and what you contain within yourself is far more powerful than anyone else's perceptions or projections. So your biggest archetype, your witch archetype here, is ancestral. It's in your blood, it's in your bones, it's in everything that you do, everything that you are. And it's awakening even greater within you, because you are very different from your family, but different from your soul family, different from many. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And you are more than welcome on my channel, because here we do different daily. All right. Pile 4, this is what I have for you guys. As always, I'm always so honored to read your guys' energy, to sit here with you guys and, talk for almost an hour. Make sure that you guys check out the description box below or the comment section below for the links to Ember and Celtic Fairy Tarot's readings. They are amazing, amazing readers, beautiful energies, beautiful readings, incredibly insightful, and just some of the best human beings that I've ever met in this entire world. And that is high praise for them. And I'm truly honored to be doing this collaboration with them. So I want to say thank you so much one more time for you guys being here. Thank you to your guides, my guides, and spirit for facilitating the connection between our energies and allowing these messages to flow through so smoothly and beautifully. I want to say thank you so much again for being here, and just thank you guys. It's been a long journey, and I am so profoundly feeling overwhelmed with gratitude for everyone right now. And I love you guys. Make sure you guys check out the links to the other readers, and in the description box, there are links to my second channel, Rising Sign Messages, as well as others. But more than anything, please go and check out the other two readers. They are incredible. And yeah. So, all right, you guys, I love you all. Thank you again so much. I will see you at my next reading. Bye.